Hello and welcome to the first inaugural show of Constant. I am Chris Taliaferro, and joining me is Arcadia. Arcadia, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's the first show. I'm excited to sit, watch it with you guys, and comment on all the things that happen. I'm even more excited not even to be with you, but also to my longtime friend next to us, Paul Schofield.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm very excited about Constant. I'm very excited about Daisy Murder entering the ring here. Longtime friend. Very interested in the show that we got going on tonight.
And very dangerous in the ring.
I think the awesome thing about this, Chris and Paul, is this show is filled with the people that have been a part of our lives or part of my life, putting this all together for a very long time, and I'm just excited to see it happen.
Yeah. Crowd is hot.
Crowd seems ready to go.
Absolutely.
Referee Ryan T sporting an orange wristband in the ring tonight.
Oh, well, is he going to be able to get drinks over 21 with that? He looks like he might be carded. I don't know.
I think his face will be carded.
Great cause.
I never played football.
I know.
I like to watch it, though.
Well, Daisy does have a long experience in the ring, not only as a manager but as a wrestler. Started with us, me and Paul Schofield, way back in the day, in the year 2000.
So what you're saying is she could also kick your butt.
She has.
Oh.
Yep, that's what it means. We're ready to go. First match.
Let's get it going.
Oh boy, here we go.
Mariah Carey, to me, screams intimidation.
Well, anyone who rolls with ODB from the Wu-Tang Clan, as Mariah has been known to do, is not someone to be trifled with. That's just my personal opinion. I mean, hey, listen, if you guys want to mess with the Wu-Tang Clan, you can go ahead. I'm okay.
Yeah.
So it's a sweet deathmatch fantasy. Brandon Kirk.
Yeah, so Brandon is known as being a deathmatch couple with his wife, Casey Kirk.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Also known as Casey Catal.
Okay.
Brandon is well-traveled in the deathmatch scene, CZW, GCW, ICW. If there is some sort of deathmatch promotion out there, I'm sure that Brandon either has been invited or has been there.
And if he hasn't been invited, then it's probably not a legitimate deathmatch promotion, if we're being honest.
Probably, yeah. So Brandon has been known for a very long time now as being an extreme competitor. But again, I mean, we can talk about all of his accolades when it comes to that. One of the underlying things is not his deathmatch wrestling, but how good he is technically. And we'll see how it gets tested here against this young guy, Malik Vonte, known as the Definition.
Now, Malik
Debonair
is also from New Jersey.
Yeah, so he's from Carteret, New Jersey.
Okay.
It's not that far away. Grew up about 20 minutes north of where we are tonight in Sayreville. And Malik has been around for a while. You know, has tried to find his place in the business. trying to find his personality, who he is, and it seems like he's really coming to his own here as the definition of Debonair.
Now, how do you think his technical skills line up in this match?
When it comes to technique, I think that it's a clashing of styles a little bit. The brawling style of Brandon Kirk and the high flying, the smooth type of offense you're going to see from Malik Vonte.
Well, I'm loving his gimmick. You want to get over, definitely want to wear that blue and yellow color. He's strutting for the crowd right now.
Do you have a love of the colors blue and yellow?
Blue and yellow are the only colors that someone should be wearing.
Well, I do like blue and white, so,
It looks like Brandon Kirk does have something to say to the crowd here tonight.
If I know anything about Brandon, it's probably going to bully them.
Wow, a classic swerve. I grew up here, but I hate it.
Who would have guessed?
Did not see that one coming.
Why would he just go home?
I mean, it is.
Wouldn't he want to fight somebody first?
It is par for the course for anyone from New Jersey to kind of crap on New Jersey at least a little bit.
This is the debut show of Constant Wrestling, am I right? These people came to to see the show. So, what you can do is get your own ass back in the ring, let everyone know that you're all over the happen, and then you can go.
There you go. See, that's the point, right? Malik, you come in here, we'll fight, I'll beat you up, then you can go.
Right now, I'm Team Malik. I'm with it.
He came all this way. He's got that Death Row Records sweatshirt.
Is Brandon Kirk a signed Death Row artist?
Well, one thing that I do know is that Death Row Records at one point had a stake in the toy business. Yeah, they actually had the rights to
He also only had time enough to tan his upper left forearm.
All right, well, I'm excited to see the first match in Constant Wrestling history on its way here. Brandon Kirk, Malik Vonte.
Oh, all right.
And, of course, Kirk's just going to find his way out.
We're almost there. Someone needs to let Brandon know that this is constant pro wrestling, not constant bailing out of the room.
I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked it. I think, and again, this is something that comes with experience. It's mind games, right?
Mind games.
Brandon Kirk is a master of mind games when it comes to this pro wrestling game. He's not going to just try to wrestle you physically. He's also mentally going to try to take advantage where he can.
I also just want to give a slight update on his Death Row hoodie and promotion. It's actually Hasbro that owns Death Row Records.
Wow.
So, shout out to Mr. Potato Head.
See, when you come to Constant Wrestling, you don't just get great wrestling action. You get knowledge, like the fact that a toy company owns Death
Row Records, yeah.
Yeah, and now Brandon just toying with Malik here. Ooh,
He's
nice side headlock.
He's going to have to work on that speed.
Oh, right back up.
And that's what it's going to take, right? So he's trying to mess with his mind. Malik is not letting it happen, and he's going to match him, not only physically, but again, the mental game is 100% part of this.
It's like running into a brick wall.
It didn't work the first time. What do you think it was going to work the second time?
Right, this is the athleticism that we've talked about with. Oh my God! Look at the speed.
Up and over. Rana. Drop kick.
I love it.
Now Brandon's got to get out of the ring. I don't think that was by choice.
Right, the first time it's by choice. The second time, get out of here.
Now, do you think Malik's let him question his confidence now?
See, and I think this is a rebound of mind games now from Malik.
Oh, we got to pay attention.
I mean, he has to have him questioning now.
An unalive dive.
Veteran like Brandon. Fool me once.
Another one.
Fool me twice.
Okay, Unaliva. I love it.
You have to make sure what you say is correct for monetization purposes.
We have to. Is he going to go for a third here?
I wouldn't do this. All right.
It looks like Malik is well aware of who Brandon Kirk is, and he's going to go right. He's going to stay on top of him, and this is a great idea here. Oh, a little mush.
Smudge.
Brandon is not going to appreciate that.
A little razzle dazzle.
Oh.
And another Rana, this time on the outside. And
Almost into the equipment.
almost right into the lighting.
I think Malik might be in Brandon's head at this point right now.
And I think that's exactly what he needs to be, right? A guy like Brandon Kirk is going to thrive in a situation where he's allowed to be the one mentally and physically in control. And right now it seems like Malik Vonte has taken both of those things away from him.
Absolutely agreed. I think that much like his namesaken away, Brandon Kirk BK wishes he could have it his way, but Malik's not letting that happen. Or maybe I spoke too soon with that chop.
Yeah, Vonte needs to bring it back in the ring. Brandon's a lot more comfortable outside in this hardcore-esque area.
Yeah, but Kirk's a guy who thrives on control, right? And these are the things that Devontae's going to have to capitalize on, making sure that when he has control, he's keeping on him, he's staying on top of it, and he's making sure that Kirk doesn't have an opportunity to come back.
You know, speaking of control, Ref Ryan's trying to get control of these two men, trying to get them back in the ring.
Malik had the wherewithal to break that count a little earlier, so
he's definitely a lot more experienced mentally than I think the years that he has actively in the ring. He is well aware mentally, and the
wise beyond his years.
Oh yeah.
Oh, in the face.
Looked like he got a little bit too carried up. Yep, and here we go. This is where Kirk thrives. Little stun gun on the ropes there.
We took one mistake.
About to. This might be a whopper of a.
The hardest part of the ring right there.
There you go. And now this is where Kirk exactly where he wants to be. He's in control. You know, and as a mindset now, is Malik going to start to question the ability he has to stay with a guy like Brandon Kirk who's been around for a while?
I think he truly believes in himself because that kick out at 1 shows that he is far from done. So he's just got to step it up.
Yeah, and I think in a moment like this, you're kind of waiting for the opportunity to get back, and you don't want to do it quickly. You don't want to do it in a position where you're not going to gain as much control as you get. You look for the perfect opportunity to strike back.
He shouldn't rush himself.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the reasons I think Brandon's going to be able to do really well in Constant is because of his time that he takes control over the match. Slows it down to his speed. He doesn't allow Malik to hit those high-flying maneuvers. You know, those are quick wins, right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
And look, a head claw isn't fancy, but it's effective.
Yeah, and Kirk does flash, you know, the speed and the flair, if you will, but he knows that stuff that Malik, at this point in the match, has already kind of one-upped him. And this is the ground and pound that we need to see from Brandon Kirk. And it doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be aggressive and physical.
I wish he would have taken that corner.
But again, that's mind game stuff, right? Malik's down there and he's thinking, this guy thinks can he put me away with a cover like this? Like, is that what he thinks? Am I not that good? And that's what Kirk's about. That's it. And you're going to see a lot of that tonight. A lot of the guys and girls on roster that we have, it's a lot of mind game stuff you're going to see.
Okay.
And this is that moment, right? Malik even looks surprised there with that clothesline. We get a forearm. Oh, and now he's feeling
Getting
it.
fired up.
He's feeling it.
I see it.
Woo! A little uppercut in the corner, sweeps out the legs. What are we getting here? Slide out.
Ooh, kick to the
Right
face.
This is the stuff that he needs to do. Put these moves together. Put some combos. Ooh, a big splash from the outside.
Over. That's a kick out at 2.
Smart enough to slow it down for the cover there.
Absolutely.
I don't even know if it's maybe just gaining, you know, the ability back. Kirk took a toll on him.
It looks like Malik can need to catch his breath.
Yeah, he's struggling here. The crowd is definitely behind him here in Sayreville.
But you know, that's the tough thing with a high-flying offense. It does sap your stamina very quickly, and it takes a lot of time sometimes to rebuild that.
Yep. As a
Right
third
here,
Rana.
for the Hurricane Rana, he
Third
can
Rana.
get it going.
Nope.
And that could be it.
Oh.
Malik still got some fight left in
A
him.
little heart.
I love it. I love to see the fight.
I'm here for it.
And what a way to start our constant wrestling show. You know, the first show ever, first match ever, and it is a clash of styles. We have action, hard-hitting action. We have technical action, and we have high-flying. And I love that this is what we're going to bring.
Well, when the opening match is great, you know that the quality is going to be, pun intended, constant.
Yeah, I think the entire roster, especially on this show, is going to be putting in their 100%.
Good night, my man.
Gonna go for a Rainmaker here?
Here we go.
This is that short arm line. Get a little Pele kick. Let's see what we got.
Oh, shades of Jay Lethal.
We'll see later. Nice roll up there. One.
And he got it. And he got him.
Unbelievable.
Look at Kirk's face.
He's so mad.
He cannot believe. And honestly, in all the scenarios we could have played out here, we were just trying to see a great showing from Malik Vonte. But to actually get out there and take the win against a competitor like Brandon Kirk in the first ever match in constant wrestling history.
Arcade speed kills, man. I mean, that's just the nature of the business sometimes.
And I think that's where the nature of the business has been going. It's been going that way, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
We see guys in the industry, ricochets, yeah, I really think Malik is on his way to being that upper echelon.
Yeah. Not only does he hate where he is, the town that he grew up in
was also.
Yes, it's unbelievable. Well, Chris, Paul, I couldn't be happier with how that first match went.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Malik Vonte looks great. The future of constant wrestling. Brandon Kirk, you know he's not going to settle for something like that. We'll probably see him again in the future too, and we'll see how the rest of the show pans out. Right, back with our second contest in the first ever Constant Wrestling show. This is going to be a special attraction match. It is a Titan Wrestling showcase for their Goddesses of War Championship. Valentina Vazquez, a mainstay in Titan Wrestling, is here to try for an opportunity to take away Amity LaVey's Goddesses of War Championship.
Now, with Amity's background, I don't think that's going to really be much of an easy task. She was trained by WWE superstar Joe Gacy, am I?
No, you're confusing the two of them. Valentina Vazquez is trained under the tutelage of Joe Gacy at the CZW dojo. It is Amity LaVey who was trained at the NYWC school, originally started by Mikey Whipwreck.
Well, given that I mixed that up a little bit, I'm actually going to change my pick, because knowing what CZW brings to the table, I know this woman is absolutely tough, fierce, and ready to do what she needs to do in the ring.
And she's been around for a very long time. Valentina has been at least 7-8 years in the business. Started out as a valet for the group Young, Dumb, and Broke. Griffin McCoy was her first job as a manager, and Griffin McCoy tonight in the main event. So she does have even the support in the locker room that it might need. She's got people back there believing in her championship match here.
So we're talking about an extreme veteran's advantage.
I'm sorry, I just got frightened.
Oh, yes. Goodness gracious, yes. No.
The high-pitched scream of Amity LaVey.
Now this is my kind of girl.
A tough. When you watch these two compete, it's no small task for either of them. I feel like they.
Scared the way you were scared.
Yeah.
Now, my goodness.
And we mentioned it in the last match, right, with Brandon Kirk when it comes to mental games. How much of this persona that we see from Amity LaVey is just who she is as a person, and how much is it, to give her the upper hand against people who would be intimidated by things like this in the ring.
Just looking at Amity, I don't think that there's anything fake or phony about her, and I think that whatever deep, dark things she's bringing out in terms of these mind games are something that she's bringing from a personal experience.
Yeah. She's a lot less experienced, so she needs to bring anything to the table here. So I think a little intimidation is going to go a long way.
That's a great point. And we are underway. Again, Ryan T., the stripes.
He's still got the orange wristband, so he's, 2 drinks in?
Gotta be at this point. Clean lock up here. jockeying for position.
Wrist control, so important.
2 on 1 there, grabbing and trying to change now the. There we go. Ooh. And I think that as the larger competitor, Valentina would probably have a better advantage keeping it grounded. It looks
Amity
like,
showing her leg strength there, kicking it off into the corner.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite apparent that Amity is going to have some strength, and especially a strength advantage here. With especially the lower half of the body, the legs seem to be built for that strength.
Yes.
Yeah, I just don't necessarily agree with this collar and elbow tie-up here. I think she needs to come at this match in a whole different direction, catch her off guard, maybe run around circles in or something.
And you're talking Amity specifically?
Yeah, she's getting overpowered here.
Are you going to tell her that? I'm terrified to tell her anything.
Yeah, I'm not having conversations with her.
Again, showing that leg strength, though. You saw earlier when she kicked her off into the corner, so you know her leg strength is very strong.
And she must think that it's also going to be an asset for her. If that's the first thing she's going for, is to use those legs to her advantage.
Absolutely.
Oh, arm drag takeover. And again. And a drop, the shotgun drop kick, yeah. And it seems like Valentina has quickly turned this around. And I guess this is going to be that story of the match, that the maneuvers, the fast-paced maneuvers are going to come from Valentina, and that ground and pound action is going to come from Amity. And this is not someone I would want in control of the match.
I mean, honestly, if I were to get a basement drop kick to the liver like that, I'd be out for the rest of the day. But here she comes. I mean, again, this is what I'm saying when I say that she's not necessarily putting on an act. She is really just a fired-up, scary competitor in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and all the credit goes to Ryan T. I've often wondered about being in a situation like when you're the referee and your job is to maintain control in a ring, and you have these large personalities. The amount of confidence.
Look you just gave him?
Yeah, exactly. That's what goes to my point. The amount of confidence you have to maintain control in a situation like this has got to be immense.
Definitely helped by 2 drinks in with the flourish wristband. Okay, this is the last
just to loosen up a little bit.
Loosen up a little bit.
And it looks like control of this match has gone to the champion a little. The champion often does have the advantage here, being able to kind of bow out whenever they want to, not having the necessity of pinfall or submission. You can just kind of back away when you feel like you're out.
Working on that neck, I feel like she's going to take a chunk out of it with her teeth.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some unorthodox offense from Amity LaVey.
I'm just interested to see if she's going to continue to work the neck, or if she's just working her overall all over her body.
Yeah, just breaking it down systematically, piece by piece here.
Right.
Whoa!
Double handspring back elbow in the corner.
And we see the torque, of that back handspring that allows more force to come back with the elbow. That's something that is not everyone can do. And it just adds not only a little bit of flavor, but a little bit more oomph to every move that you do.
Absolutely. And I just want to also say that strike was directly to the neck with the elbow. So maybe she is going to work this neck.
Yep, and then a suplex there, low back. I think it's all about systematically breaking down your opponent. Head and neck, obviously, you need to have it to maintain yourself in a ring scenario.
Well, I mean, I'm sure you know how hard it is to kick out if your neck is just ranked.
Yeah, I mean, especially like stingers and stuff like that, when, the compression of the neck, it makes you not only are you kind of you're not paying attention to what's happening in if there's a count going on, or you're just kind of like making sure you're okay. Sometimes you don't kick out, not because you physically can't do it, but because your mind isn't focused on the count.
You're sidetracked. You have pins and needles going down your legs, pins and needles going down your fingers. The last thing you're thinking about is, I need to get my shoulders off the mat. Oh, a great spear there.
Incredible impact.
It definitely seems like Valentina's in survival mode, right now. Anything she can do to get out of this situation, she's trying to. And it's got to be also, and I keep harping on this mental side of the game, but it's got to be, someone with less experience in controlling you. Sure. That's got to be mentally defeating as
Absolutely.
It only takes one move, one slip up, one misjudgment, one miscalculation.
Yeah, and you just have to be on the entire time you're out there.
Let's see who's going to come up to their feet here first.
Yep, standing 10 count here. and Ref Ryan is giving us the signal. We're back on our feet, and now and now it has dissolved into a slugfest.
But you know what? I love it. Let them slug it out.
Yeah, absolutely. All the technical moves in the world, all the backflips and all the handsprings. I'm just gonna punch you in the face. Nice European uppercut. Back to a suplex position here.
She gonna be able to get her over.
Ooh,
face. Actually,
right on the
face.
face.
Yeah, face buster kind of variation.
Right back to the face. And again, that's the eye-tearing, nose-busting, like that. It just puts you in this mood of like, I can't even see.
Yeah.
Stinger,
right back to
as
it.
you were referring to.
Ooh. Amity is in a very precarious position here.
She just kind of
She
just
kick
bridged
out?
out of
Yeah,
that.
she's bridging.
Bridged herself
Lord.
out of that.
I don't know if I've seen anything like that.
That
in a
shows
while.
amazing neck strength right there.
And Valentina doesn't know what it's going to take now to put away the champion here.
I don't know what she's doing outside the ring.
I don't know. The crowd is definitely in support of Valentina here as they're trying to get her enough
Where's she
strength
going
and
now?
energy back. I don't know. What's playing a little game of cat and mouse here.
Just based on that look in her eyes, though, I don't think I can bet against her right now. I really don't.
Oh yeah, it's predator versus prey, and I don't think Valentina's the type of competitor that's going to allow herself to become the prey.
A little cross-eyed there.
Oh, into the ring post.
Didn't see that post coming.
The front row is getting a show here with that last match, Kirk and Vonte, and now even Valentina looks like she's staring into space. That is the worst feeling in the world when you're so disoriented you don't even know where you are.
Looks like she's getting a head start and counting the number of lights up there, and that's never a good thing.
That's how I felt after my divorce.
Disoriented?
Very disoriented,
Gotcha.
just all over the place. And I was making a lot of faces like she is, just very angry, guttural faces.
Back to it again. Back to a slugfest here.
Yeah, again, I don't think she wants to take this route. Well, look like she went for a code breaker or something. Breaking of the eyes. Legal for 4, right?
Oh, right back to that neck.
Yeah.
Cross with the arms. That's it.
And you were right, Chris. I mean, you pointed it out from the beginning that the strategy there was all neck moves, and it seems like Amity's strategy paid off, and that's why she's the champion at such an early part of her career.
What I liked about her strategy was it was consistent. And while I do agree with you that she was also systematically breaking her opponent down, there was that focus on the head and neck area.
Yeah, and I think it opens up the rest.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, wow, a great start here. We had a championship match. Champion retains here the Titan Championship Wrestling Goddesses of War Championship successfully defended here by Amity LaVey. And the crowd seems just as frightened as I am.
Titan has
a lot of side
scary
eyes.
champion on their hands. I can say that.
Yeah, and if you want to catch more of it, then you can just find it at Titan Championship Wrestling. If the last match taught us anything about serial killer mind games, this match is going to give us a doctorate in that.
Okay.
Because arriving now is the root of all evil, Charles Mason.
Charles Mason. Oh my God. Well, look at these eyes. I mean, you can tell that Charles Mason is completely serious. He is not happy. I can tell you that for sure.
This looks like me on a Monday morning going to work.
But Charles Mason, what he brings psychologically to the ring is not only. Did he just give a kid in the front row with a middle finger?
He sure did.
The crowd
and the crowd has responded in kind.
So it seems like his reputation.
Nope, he's helping. The poster was clearly spelled wrong, so he was helping them from making fun of themselves.
And again, it just. The type of person that Charles Mason is very apparent now in the early stages of him just even arriving to the arena.
A true businessman, that's what it seems like to me.
Yeah, that's what he cares about.
A true businessman would have opened his button as he came up to let people see his tie. I think he's a thug. I think he's a bully and a brute and a thug.
Are you going to tell him that?
No, because he's a brute and a bully and a thug. And I am a sensitive individual.
Well, if we were talking about the polar opposite, We're talking about now the Ancestral Avenger, Kwesi Asante.
Kwesi Asante.
Very young competitor. Kwesi has not been around for a very long time, but in where he has come from, he has done amazing things. Right. So I first spotted Kwesi Asante at a Dropkick Depression show. It is a charity event, right? So we know what kind of heart Kwesi has. None of the wrestlers are paid. They all forego being paid, so that the charity gets all of the money, and that's the type of person he is. He just loves being around it, loves being around the crowd, and really just embodies the spirit of professional wrestling and the charisma that is needed.
Now, if I remember correctly, Mason was at this Dropkick Depression event also taking money from children, right? Like, he's at the same event, just ruining his day in his stupid little suit.
Stupid little suit.
Well, listen, he can't hear me right now, so I can call his... He should have unbuttoned the button, is what I'm saying. And he shouldn't have gone to the Dropkick Depression event stealing money from children.
I don't think that he's the type of person that would steal it. I think to him it seems like more of a tax or some sort of business write-off. But either way, we're going to see not only the psychological side of what Charles Mason is, but the fact he was trained at the House of Glory School by the Amazing Red and Brian XL. So the lineage of people that have trained him also, so physically in the ring, he's going to be here to compete.
Absolutely.
He's not going to wrestle with the suit on, is he?
I arrested it.
Mr. Hughes did it.
Mr. Hughes, yes. Mr. Hughes is one of my all-time favorites. Referee Rich George in the stripes now, here to
He's a serious referee, but he's already lost control.
See, he can wrestle in a suit if he has suspenders.
The bell hasn't even rung.
You need suspenders?
I mean,
because the belt.
Going by Mr. Hughes and IRS, they both had suspenders.
Well, I don't know about you two guys, but I'm very excited for this match.
I'm excited to see what the suit looks like after this match.
I mean, Charles Mason is a man of money, right? A man of means. It doesn't seem like he cares about one individual suit. Well, Kwesi definitely starting off here trying to show his strength.
It seems like
right into a chokeslam.
I would say it seems like he may have a power advantage, but I don't know if Mason may have a leverage advantage.
And I think that's the deception of a suit, like even thinking that the strength, this fast-paced action is evident that it doesn't seem like the suit is going to be a hindrance.
Absolutely not.
Go to sleep.
It might be like those stretchy jeans that they sell. He might have a stretchy suit.
Like it wouldn't surprise me if custom-made things is not a pillar
for someone of his
Charles
means,
Mason's,
right?
Yeah.
Like Yeah. I'm just used to my pauper suits,
The athletic ability. Whoa! Kwesi is setting the tone for us here.
Lightning fast.
The suit's got to be impeding his movement. Big hip toss.
The height.
I really think he can take this match if he unbuttons that button. If not,
woo!
What?
How about that? Wow. And the crowd definitely behind Kwesi. And I think it's an underrated thing. These guys that come in and say they don't, maybe they're fueled by the hate and that's what allows them to get into it, but it's definitely underrated when you have a room full of people, behind you cheering for you to win at whatever you're trying to win at.
Well, how can people not get behind Kwesi? Kwesi's strong and he's got it going on,
There's nothing more than I love. Look, I'm 160 pounds. I'm nothing, right? But you see these big men in the ring move around like a 160-pound guy. That's impressive to me.
Both men here are going to be at least, 210, 220?
I think that's probably a fair assessment of range of weight for both of them. And again, I don't really know the weight itself, how much of it plays into it, as much as how much you use it to your...
Oh my gosh, right to the eyes.
And referee Rich George, I guess, just allowing anything to go.
Yeah, didn't even reprimand him.
And that sliding drop kick to the face and out to the floor goes Kwesi Asante. And it seems... And now he's getting a
Looks like
little
he was
bit more
gonna go check.
comfortable.
Let's see.
Am I going to go
Getting
check on
a
him?
little bit more comfortable. There he is.
Looks
Right?
like the referee was going to go check on him, but then he wanted to make sure that I guess he disrobed appropriately.
He in fact did not have suspenders.
But he's not going to
underneath
stop him from the
his,
tie, apparently.
No suspenders underneath
Where
his
is the
jacket.
referee?
I think the referee is well aware of wanting to keep the ring the action in the ring here.
Now, I want to think that the ref is allowing that choke of with the tie there to happen because it's part of his gear. I've seen this before. People using their singlets, using their gear, but otherwise, I don't know how he could have really let that go.
I didn't even see the referee check him before the match began, so it's quite possible he could have any kind of items in there.
Direct shot to the face by Mason.
Yeah, it looks like Mason has commanding control of this match at this point. Much to the dismay of the people here in Sayreville, New Jersey.
He's going to lose his shirt.
Is that like figuratively?
Figuratively.
But it could be literally, if you notice there's a button missing, which may be why he didn't want to unbutton his jacket in the first place.
I mean, you're treading in a dangerous area.
I feel like he's coming for me. I don't know why.
If Charles Mason is listening to
He could
this
have brass buttons and
post
use them as a weapon.
performance, I would just like him to know that it is Chris Taliaferro, and if you're going to break someone's bank, please make it his.
Scraping his back. Again, no reprimanding from the referee. He would have been disqualified 3 times.
And that, I think, points to the fact that Rich George is allowing the action to happen. He knows that the fans want to see a conclusion to this match instead of just seeing some sort of disqualification. You know, the people paid their money. They want to see a contest.
Ooh, gonna break his arm there.
And right down.
I don't think a disqualification would be the most popular thing with the crowd right now.
You know, and it doesn't allow Kwesi to have the opportunity. I mean, yeah, so some people might say you're putting the guy out of his misery. It's pretty obvious that who has control of this match, right? But the other side of it is Kwesi doesn't seem like the guy who's going to give up early.
Absolutely not.
I don't know. It seems like a disqualification might help him right at this point.
I mean, it's true. I mean, you bring up a good point, but you know, you're always going to give a competitor the opportunity to compete.
And, you know, it's not always wins and losses. It's momentum sometimes. And I don't know if a disqualification win would give him the type of momentum that he wants going into the rest of his career with Constance.
Of course. You know, and until the last breath is out of my body, until I can no longer function, I do not want a bell to ring.
Right.
And speaking of last breath, those 2 chops took out any remaining breath that Asante might have had in his lungs.
Oh, and it seems like Mason is now going to challenge Kwesi Asante.
Let's see.
Yeah, this is a show me match right here. That's what it is. Woo!
And, you know, now that Mason's removed the shirt, I got to say he's got to be around that 220 mark.
Oh,
This is just 2 big, strong men just going for it.
I don't know if this was a tuxedo match, he'd be on his last straw.
He could still have the cummerbund. if it was
He's
a
biting
tuxedo
him?
match.
Now referee Rich George doing his best, trying to.
Well, it's kind of hard to ignore it when it's right in front of your face.
There we go, and I think that made.
Getting the separation there was important.
Well, but I think even Kwesi now, that's what, you know, sparked it. Sometimes it takes something as disrespectful as a bite to the nose to wake you up.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
Oh my.
One step ahead.
Slipped right into it. Oh, okay.
Roll through.
Chess match here. Oh, it fish hooked him.
That
He
clothesline
fish hooked
was
him into a
devastating.
clothesline.
Devastating.
Oh, devious look on his face, but he couldn't put him away.
Yeah, I think devious is the default setting. For,
He looks a little
for Charles
confused
Mason's
now.
face.
I think he thought he had a 1 right there. Stay focused.
Yeah,
And that Sayreville crowd get under his skin.
he's worried about that front row, those kids in the front row giving him heck. Yeah, that's right. Giving him heck.
Get him heck is, yeah.
Heck's an underrated. I like heck.
Heck is, no, I'm with him. I'm with you on heck.
Oh, and it seems like one of those old National
Mom, I'm on TV.
Geographic, you know, like a predator, you know, playing with his food before consuming that last bit. That's what it looks like is happening.
I just noticed that Mason really had him sucking wind in the corner there. He's got a breathe right strip on his nose. I'm hoping that he can get a little more oxygen into his lungs because right now he's looking gassed. Is it just me?
No, yeah. You're talking about Kwesi?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he looks like he is on that last bit of struggle.
Yeah, he's gagging hard right now.
You know, I noticed that as Mason was another bite, but I noticed as Mason was laying those shots and Kwesi, his mouth was just gaped open. He was just gasping for air.
Oh,
there it is.
Last ditch effort.
Yeah, that's survival mode. Pure
Absolutely.
survival mode here for Kwesi Asante, and he's looking to try to find some way back into this match.
He's gonna have to try and capitalize somehow.
Yep, using the fingertips right there to get the feeling back, maybe the blood flow going.
Circulation.
Yep, maybe get the crowd involved a little bit to get that adrenaline pumping. He needs something here. He definitely needs to capitalize on what's happening for him right now.
In these double down moments, the first thing you want to do is you want to get an eye on your opponent. You want to know where they're at in this count.
Right, there goes. Kwesi looks.
But listen, Mason's well aware too. Don't get me wrong. That was, 200-something pounds of humanity just crashing onto the mat. But, it's really equalized the playing field more so than giving one man the advantage over the other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you got 9 seconds to get up.
Right.
But how much of what we've already seen has taken a toll on Kwesi? Maybe it's too much for him to now make that full comeback. But he's definitely going to make the effort. Oh, full speed. Look how fast he's moving. Ooh, forearm and forearm. Ducking lines. Ooh, little swing kick there. Love it.
Unbelievable conditioning for a man his size.
And he is feeling it right now.
He's just out of nowhere got this adrenaline rush.
And again, even similar to our last match with Amity LaVey, like that extra torque is going to put that much more into each move.
Yep, that's centrifugal force.
The centrifugal force which meets the immovable object.
Standing moonsault.
I am wowed by the athletic ability. Well, first of all, yes, of both of your knowledge of forces and formulas of forces, but also the athletic ability that we're seeing here from Kwesi Asante. Because I think everything that happened at the beginning, I mean, he's got to put an end to it fast, right? His body doesn't have enough left to keep this match going. So if there's a moment for him to try to finish it, it's got to be right now. And I don't know if he's done enough damage on Mason to make it like an even kind of damage count.
Right, because Mason is a tank, man.
Oh, there it is.
Look at the eyes.
The equalizer.
The great equalizer.
And when he was biting him, was it the nose? Was it the eyes?
If you notice, though, he raked his eyes on the opposite side of where the ref was standing. Just the knowledge of where he's in that ring, that was great.
An unbelievable series of moves.
DVD.
Oh my gosh.
And Kwesi will still not go down quietly here. He's not willing to give up.
When you've clawed a man's eyes out, when you've bitten his eyes out, and he's still looking for a fight when he can't even look for your face to hit, that's a man.
Yeah, and not only that, but that's where that mental game flips. Where you've been playing the game of trying to defeat your opponent with mental games, but when those things don't work, it flips back on you, and now you're thinking to yourself,
what do I have to do?
Or do I have enough to do it?
Well, let's be honest, you don't need to see to be able to get your shoulders off the mat when you hear the 3 count being pinned.
That's true, you don't.
There's not been an offensive or defensive move, for that matter, since the rake of the eyes.
It looks like that last Fury might have taken everything out of Kwesi. He definitely seems like he does not have... Oh, and I spoke too soon, because here he is.
Nice.
The height on that senton. Now we get a good German suplex here. Setting Mason up for something here.
That snap release on the suplex really dazed him, I can tell.
Ooh, and a gut wrench bomb. Could this be it for Mason? No, quick kick.
Getting out of the ring, I mean, my goodness, what a veteran move.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of Mason is based on instincts and allowing his instincts to drive his actions in the ring, whether it's those sadistic instincts that he feels inside or whether it's just survival instincts of getting out of the ring when he needs to. It seems like he's a very instinctual competitor.
Yes.
Ooh, and Kwesi will not give up here.
And just take a look at that floor. There's no
He knows that hurt.
padding.
He definitely wasn't thinking about before they hit that.
It was almost like an eye roll there. Like, he's like, oh, maybe I should.
Yeah.
But I don't think in these moments are the times where you're thinking of your own personal protection.
No.
You're thinking about how do I best, attack this person who's ripping my eyes out, and fish hooking me, and biting my face.
And spitting in my eyes. with goodness knows what.
The whole bottle of vodka wasted.
I don't even know what it was.
Does he have a wristband?
He's like bile.
Oh, he tapped. That was a tap.
That's
a tap.
no.
Come on, ref. That's a tap. Get him off him.
And Charles Mason, successful here, and you know, say what you will about the sadistic, you know, the nature of how he operates. I mean, it does the job.
Just look at, again, let's go back to the offense. The fish hook, the spitting in the eyes, the clawing of the eyes, the biting of the nose and the face. All of these things are going to make your face uncomfortable. So guess what?
Yeah.
When someone's choking you out and you can't see, you can't breathe, yeah, that's going to be a problem. So again, going back to the other match we were watching, I'm seeing a lot of individuals focusing on one specific area and then finishing off their opponent with something from that area.
Yeah, and it seems like that is something that is going to be a successful strategy here in Constant Wrestling.
That's how you win matches.
Dynamite dropping, Paul. I wish the crowd could laugh at being in the presence of a guy like Charles Mason here. The root of all evil. If you know you're calling yourself the root of all evil.
Yeah.
Oof.
Hate to see him in a dark alley.
And his suit was really cool, so you can't say that he's the square root of all evil, because he's too cool.
You know, we're going to start, it looks like pretty quickly here, with the current TNA
Speedball
X Division champion. A recently acquired X Division championship for Speedball Mike Bailey.
One of the fastest, most dynamic performers in the world right now, as good old JR Jim Ross would say, has educated feet.
Yeah, and I think that in any conversation about most thrilling performance or, you know, most complete performer when it comes to the professional wrestling game, that conversation needs to happen with Speedball Mike Bailey in mind.
100%.
You know, so not only are we honored to have him be a part of our first, you know, show, it's going to be an honor just to watch him perform out here tonight.
Again, showing the fans those educated feet I brought up. That strong martial arts background.
Got a lot of guts walking around barefoot in Sayreville.
What does that mean? What does that mean? It's a gymnasium. What?
Sure, they cleaned it. Sure, they did.
You're a weird guy. I don't know.
Got the nicest teeth on the planet. Look at them.
In the world.
That's a mouthpiece, by the way.
Well, but
Not a big deal.
The thing is, wait a second. When he takes off the mouthpiece, the
Then-
teeth are impeccable.
Were you commenting on the whiteness of his mouthpiece, thinking that was his
No, I
actual
know
teeth?
it was a mouthpiece,
Sure, you did.
but they look like teeth.
But his real teeth are incredible. They really are incredible. Hence the mouthpiece.
Now let's take this opportunity to talk a little bit about his opponent for the evening.
Okay.
Pat Dynamite got his start in this business, same as two other people on the show, in a group called Young, Dumb, and Broke. Our main event, Griffin McCoy, is going to compete against Jay Lethal, but we also had Valentina Vazquez before,
Who used to be a part
correct
of this group, yes.
And I mean, they aren't like officially. They've kind of all gone their separate ways a little bit. You know, Jordan Oliver seeing some success as the GCW J or the Jersey J Cup winner.
Yes.
You know, Griffin McCoy, obviously, you know, our pick to wrestle in such a high-profile match against Jay Lethal is getting some singular success. You know, Valentina Vazquez over here getting some success. Charlie Tiger getting success in JCW and GCW. And it seems like Pat Dynamite's turn is tonight. And what better way to do it than to do it against one of the best in one of the absolute best in the world?
If you want to be one of the best in this industry, you have to test yourself against the best in this industry. It's as simple as that.
I have heard a similar phrase to that before for the last like 40 years.
You definitely need a suede jacket.
If you have to be the best, to be the man,
you're gonna beat the
that's
man.
it. And you know, it's a very simple phrase, but it's a very true phrase.
Right. There are a lot of cliches that are cliches for a reason.
Now, I don't know if you noticed this because I personally, have a friendship with Pat Dynamite, but I could see, the look on his face and how seriously he's taking this opportunity. He looks like this is something that he doesn't want to mess up, but that can come back to haunt you in the end if you feel like you're giving your opponent too much respect and too much credit. He needs to come into this the same as he does every other match and not just try to think of it as too big of an experience.
Listen, he's got to be ready to punch Mike Bailey in the face.
Yeah.
Punch him right and knock that mouthpiece out and see how nice those teeth really are.
Yeah, and I hope he also doesn't get himself into a situation where he's trying to be better than Mike Bailey at anything that Mike Bailey is really good at. He's got to focus on what makes him
good. What brings him to the table.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
He should definitely shake his hand and stomp right on his foot. You take the offense. That's the best way to get your quick go. Is totally legal.
Are you friends with Charles Mason?
No.
Okay. You have similar mindsets.
I'm looking at him, and for those that can't see us, he's got a suit on right now with a button in the middle. So I don't know. I don't know where he got that suit. It says, what does it say, Mason?
That's a long handshake.
Well, I think it does point to the respect that not only Dynamite has for Bailey, but Bailey has for Dynamite.
Well, Dynamite just disrespected him. You see how low his bow was? That's a thing. Google it.
What a
That's
start.
a thing. The lower you bow, the more respect you are showing to the opponent. That is a true thing.
Do you think that it might have been a leverage situation? As I feel like Dynamite has the leverage situation.
No, I'm saying Mike Bailey knows that, and now he's taking it out on his face.
So you're telling me that the reason why he just ran across the ring and kicked him in the face immediately at the start of the match is because his bow wasn't low enough?
That's exactly why he did it.
Okay. Listen, I'm going to have to take your word for it because I am not an expert on bows. But whatever the reason is, it looks like Bailey is trying to control this match from the very beginning.
Well, the first offensive move I would do is a chop, but it's working for him.
Well, he's got to. It's about sustained pressure, right, and control. And at this point, he's just got to gain. Like he's trying to catch. And there it is, right? There's a run. And a drop kick. Here we go. And now Bailey's out. Whoa. And see, this is what we're talking, right? This is the kind of game that Dynamite needs to make sure he's living here.
I mean, look, I think that Dynamite, pun fully intended, has to be explosive here. We know what Mike Bailey can bring to the table, and you have to be able to counteract that.
And control, right?
Oh,
control.
sure. Absolutely.
Because a guy like Mike Bailey doesn't get where he is by being controlled. So the type of offense we're going to need from this is control offense.
Absolutely.
Bailey comes across so nice, and then he just gets this angry look in his face. Look at him.
Vicious.
Look how mad.
He can get really vicious. Oh, but that time it cost him. His hand must be hurting.
It's the mullet. It's got to be the mullet.
I like the mullet.
He almost chopped that guy in the front row. But this is what we need to see, right? This is great technique and great strategy from Pat Dynamite, making sure that he's staying on top of Bailey here. Neckbreaker on the floor.
Right on that wooden floor.
I don't even know if Bailey expected this from Dynamite.
I don't think so either, but you know what? When you are in that ring, you have to expect the unexpected.
Smart here.
You don't know what your opponent... Oh, my gosh. Right on that floor. That can't feel great.
Right, double stomp right to the chest. The people in the front row look very excited.
Good looking crowd you got out there.
Bunch of handsome men and women.
Now this is, and I'm not always going to be the guy that tries to point out mistakes that people are making, but it seems like at this point, if we're talking about you have a guy like Speedball Mike Bailey on the ground, why are you not staying on top of him?
Yeah.
Or at least bringing him in the ring to try and capitalize on what you've done.
Yeah, unless you think you can get a 10 count here.
Right.
But again, going back to what we were saying about disqualifications, is that the type of win that you want against a Speedball Mike Bailey? Or do you want to test yourself? Do you want to really prove that you can hang with him and that you deserve all the opportunities that he might get?
Yeah, I definitely understand your point, but now this is what you're opening yourself up to, right?
They just all been answered right there.
Look at the aggressive nature of Bailey right now. And he is so aggressive on top, because this is the type of thing that you would want to see from Dynamite. Ooh,
Right there, to the face.
He is like a surgeon.
Yeah.
the precision that he has with these kicks.
He
8
knows
seconds of breath will give you.
Look at the anger.
He knows exactly where he wants to hit you. And how
And
to
a double
hit you.
knee attack off the top rope, and it looks like we are seeing a different side of Mike Bailey than we saw when he first walked out of that curtain. High-fiving kids, throwing his feet around. Looks like he's having a great time, and this switch inside of Mike Bailey has flipped.
Well, I mean, the aggression that Dynamite showed before this is going to elicit that response from the type of elite athlete that Mike Bailey is.
Yeah, you don't take lightly people trying to dethrone you.
Right.
Especially after a monumental victory like Bailey has just had, reclaim
X Division champion.
Champions do not get to be champions by allowing people to disrespect them.
Absolutely not.
Bailey's still hurting, though. You can tell he took a long time before he started on that offense again.
Ooh.
Oh.
Right into this death lock here. And this is just going to drain not only the lower half of Pat Dynamite, but again, drain the will of Pat Dynamite.
But look at where he has Pat. Look at the ring positioning. Again, just surgical as you were describing it, where he wants to do certain things to hurt you in specific times in specific places. And he's not. And look, this may not win it here, but he knows that he's going to drain him because of that ring position.
And you can almost see the centimeters he was crawling across to get to that rope.
I think experience. Chris, just to go back to our discussion before, experience plays a role in the idea of younger guys don't know what they don't know.
Sure.
Right? So they don't know the value of ring positioning. They don't understand the value of staying on top of your opponent or how aggressive in nature you need to be and playing those mind games. And that's the stuff that Bailey is going to show over a guy like Pat Dynamite, where, this is almost like an education for Pat Dynamite.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You get caught up in the moment. A crowd's cheering for you, and you're like, wow, you like that? And the next thing you know, you're getting a standing reverse moonsault on top of your chest.
And just even going back to the ring positioning, when Bailey went for that cover, he noticed that he was by the ropes, made sure that he hooked the arm, just to make sure that he wasn't able to get an arm over there.
You see, those are the little things that make the master of their class succeed, and that's why Bailey has been able to succeed. He thinks about things that other people don't think about. And this might be a good opportunity for us to take a moment and say, calling the action in the ring here is SP Anderson, a veteran of the professional wrestling game. And I think we are honored to have a person like that, a referee like that, with the lineage that he has.
And experience.
Yep. Calling this match.
Dynamite, show me some dynamite, come on.
See, and I'm actually kind of blown away by the change in Mike Bailey. And he has kind of turned this into a challenge to Pat Dynamite. Less of just winning the match and more of just show me what you got, kid.
But, in that shift, it's great to see the professionalism of the referee that we have, knowing that, he's going to maybe let a couple things go.
Yep.
Kind of let them do what they need to do and not really get in the way too much.
Well, we just want to make sure that he doesn't get called out on the things that he does wrong by Paul Schofield.
I haven't had to say a word.
A nice STO, right? And now it seems like Dynamite is getting himself back in. And it seems like those moments where Bailey is challenging Dynamite, he is getting a response.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's good for Bailey, because I don't know what is he looking for, an educating moment here? Is he trying to test him to the point where he's like, I want to see that spark out of him?
But it also might be like, hey, who's this punk kid that punched me in the face?
A little bit of both.
You get a TNA X Division championship around your waist, you have a right to be confident.
I agree 100%. I don't think that there's any reason that Speedball Mike Bailey has to come in with anything less than the utmost.
And that's what it's opening up the ability now for Pat Dynamite to take charge. And Bailey using a man's walker to get himself back to his feet.
I don't know if that was covered by his healthcare provider, but we'll see. Well, he's Canadian, so yeah, it's cool.
Dynamite, that was a close 2 count there. Dynamite now, you can see him favoring, the neck,
Come on,
back.
kid, wake up.
Dynamite, talk about this kid, but he is a hell of a tough kid, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, toughness is definitely something that plays a part here, but it's also, strategy. And I think that's what separates Dynamite from other, tough kids out on the street. Is the strategy that he shows in the ring.
Yeah, it took him too long to get to that side headlock.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the theme we've been talking about since the beginning, right? Is the inexperience of the lack of aggressiveness from Dynamite here.
Oh,
nice. The knee to the head was perfect.
But it seems like
Bailey's ready with the response.
He's ready for it, man. It's fun. It's so much fun to watch.
Oh, small package too.
The master at his game.
Absolutely. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Classic Mike Bailey.
Cardio machine.
And how do you block that?
You don't.
You wait until he's done.
Like, do I go left? Do I go right? I'm just stuck here.
There's no Super Mario cheat codes when Mike Bailey is rapid fire kicking you.
Listen, you can hit up, down, left, right, A, B, start all you want. Mike Bailey's going to kick you in your mouth as he was just kicked.
Yeah. It seems like every time we get into a roll about talking about how great Mike Bailey's doing, it seems like Pat Dynamite is right there. And that's a testament to Pat Dynamite, who he is as a performer.
Absolutely.
And we got SP Anderson administering here that standing double 10 count for the competitors to get back onto their feet.
Does not have an orange wristband on, so is completely sober.
Or
Dynamite's
or
thinking
underage.
about what move he's got left.
Yeah, I think this is and Paul, you're bringing up a great point. Like in these moments, it's not just about getting back to your feet, but it's also strategizing on what is happening next and what am I going to do next. And it seems like
Dynamite got the first shot in. You win the match if you hit him first 50% of the time.
And I think a not equal shot. I think the power advantage from Bailey here is shown with the loudness.
Absolutely.
In some of these strikes that are happening. Back and forth action. There we go. And now the pace is picked up.
I'm suspecting they're going to spam these chops.
Watch out for a foot.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. You got to be wondering. You got to be wondering when you get into a strike off with Mike Bailey, what's coming next. Whoa! What an unbelievable
Dynamite
series.
is impressively keeping up with Mike Bailey's speed. I am so impressed with this kid.
You look
no
just
idea.
as surprised to hit that sidekick as he.
Oh
my God!
And that takes all of the air. And he's able to kick out. But wow, and right on top of him again.
Just relentless.
Yeah, Mike Dynamite is going to Pat Dynamite's going to be an only generation wrestler.
Was that a direct shot to the moneymaker?
Bailey off the ropes.
Oh,
Shooting
gotta
star
be it.
press. Oof.
Wow.
If you get Mike Bailey in that state of amazement,
You're doing something right.
you're doing something right. This man has been around the world and in the ring with some of the largest names you'll ever hear in the business, and to get him into a state of what can I do to put this kid away is a testament to the strength and the resilience of Pat Dynamite.
But, I just want to say, as much as we are, kind of giving Mike Bailey his due right now, I don't want to count Pat Dynamite out of this right now because he's really shown me a lot, and I think he might have a second gear here.
Well, I think at any point in any competition, you don't want to count anyone out, especially in a competition like this. There's a reason why Pat Dynamite was selected for this match. There's a reason why he's in the ring right now. And while the experience factor might be on Bailey's side, that doesn't change the fact that they're in an open competition and anyone can win.
Absolutely. The number 1 seed can be beaten by the number 10 seed in any given sport at any given time.
Oh, and we got a tope unaliva. An unalive dive.
Unalive dive.
Well, that guy in the front row might have to have his other hip replaced after that.
They could have
That's
called
nice.
205 Live Unalive Dive. It's the same rhyming convention.
And Bailey now, with a moonsault from inside the ring. And this is what separates,
great from fantastic.
Not everyone,
Yeah,
not
great
everyone
from
on Earth.
unreal.
Seriously.
Not everyone on Earth can do a flipping dive onto a hardwood floor on your tippy toes.
But not only that, like it's you see Pat Dynamite get into these flurries of moves and these flurries of comebacks, and when they're stomped out in unbelievable fashion, it's almost doing something to the brain.
Psyche.
Yeah.
I know something about a moonsault, and to hit a moonsault straight is very hard. After this long, grueling contest, for him to not only hit it straight, but to hit it at the trajectory and the angle that he hit it outside of the ring is just crazy. Oh, and Dynamite's going for something big here.
Oh, a DVD right on the apron. And if you haven't watched wrestling in the last 15 years and listened to every commentator that's ever talked, the apron is the hardest part of the ring.
Yeah. It's also not flat over there. There's knots under there.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's metal hooks to hold the apron down.
Right, because where that safety padding ends sometimes is different based on the roll that you roll out. So sometimes you do get some exposed boards. It is a dangerous aspect of the game. Dynamite now
Really has to capitalize here.
he has to, and he's looking big.
Yeah.
He's trying to get to the top rope. He's looking for something.
Definitely
He's trying
slow.
to pull out everything
Kaye,
he's
this
got.
is what I was telling you. Like, we cannot count this kid out. He's shown me so much today.
And I don't think Bailey is willing to give him any inches of space here.
No, I mean, nor should he, frankly.
Right, but you think about times where you're laying on a mat and you're like, all right, well, I'll take another second before I get up, and he is not. Like, if he has an ounce of energy in him and Bailey's ready to go, he's going.
Right.
And he's not going to allow Dynamite to get in.
What is this?
Again, Dynamite fighting out of it, Bailey trying to look and improvise, and the level of in-ring adaptability, I think, is what separates a guy like Mike Bailey, is being in a moment and being able to adapt to any situation that he finds himself in.
Absolutely.
And now we're fighting here on the top rope. A little back and forth. Looks like Dynamite has the upper hand. Maybe a sunset flip powerbomb. I've seen him do something similar in the past.
I just wish he would have just
And
taken
there's the sunset.
advantage of
Yep.
those. That's
Gave him too much space.
too much time.
Ooh. And that's what you get for it. Foot right in the mush. But again, fighting back. Oh my God.
The foot speed of Mike Bailey. Able to
Dynamite.
block kicks with his own kicks.
Is this it? Does he have it?
Oh,
Kick out by Bailey. And Dynamite is feeling it. And the crowd's behind them. They're feeling it, and they believe. And I think that's part of the game is believing that you can do it.
yeah, he's trying to convince the crowd he can do it. He needs to stay on top of them.
Double underhooks reversed here. Cradles him up.
Absolutely beautiful.
Oh, this could be quick.
Oh, I thought he
really-
had him there. Maybe the ring positioning of the referee being able to
That
making
could
sure.
be all the difference.
Yep.
I think he was on the right side.
Here we go. Bailey with another moonsault, looking for the knees. Woo. Kick to the face and see double underhook. He was going for it before. Spinned out into a neck breaker. Does he have him? Yeah, and he's moving fast. He's learning.
Let's keep it faster this time.
Learning from the mistakes, trying for it, looking for that double stomp.
Still couldn't connect.
Missed it.
Oh, Bailey's speed. Do you see how quickly he made up that?
Unbelievable.
Speedball for a reason.
Yeah.
The legs are connected. That back reach around.
This has to be
Drop.
it.
Variation.
Never
And it's
getting
it.
up from me.
Count to a million.
But listen, we cannot sit here and count out what Pat Dynamite showed here tonight.
Yeah,
That was
and
fantastic.
I don't think Dynamite is, and listen, Paul and I have both been in-ring performers before. I don't think Dynamite is the moral victory kind of guy.
Sure.
When he goes into it, yeah,
He wants
you
to
wanna
win.
You do want to test yourself. You know Mike Bailey's one of the best in the world. You know you're getting into a situation where you're counted as the underdog, but being that close and putting on that type of performance,
Only to come up that short.
it's more defeating than it is anything.
Yeah.
You can go back and watch this tape over and over again. The important thing is for him to grow from this loss and come back stronger next time.
Yeah, so if you are Pat Dynamite and you're watching this and you're at the end of this match, you're thinking to yourself, all right, so yes, I am that close, but if I am that close, I'm sad that when am I ever going to get this type of chance again?
Yeah.
And I may have just lost a big opportunity to even put one of the best wrestlers in the world away.
Yeah.
You're going to get some sort of show of respect here.
But, Arcadia, just to your point, I really think that, particularly in Constant, I think Pat's future is just too bright for him to wallow in any of that, and those feelings are valid, and I get that he's probably going to feel some variation of what you're describing. Again, the show of respect, like you were talking about.
Absolutely.
But I mean,
because Mike Bailey sees the same thing that we see.
Exactly.
That the level of competition that he was brought to, that Pat Dynamite brought him to that next level where he had to break these things out.
Right.
Not everyone can do things like that.
Because
look how low he bowed there.
I guess he's learned his lesson. Yeah, and Mike Bailey, and I think it's a testament also to him to show you the type of warrior that you need to be inside the ring, but the gentleman that you could be outside of the
complete
ring.
Class act.
Yeah, class. And the crowd here at Sayreville showing their appreciation for what we just saw from Pat Dynamite, a world-class match. And that's the type of action that we can expect here at Constant Wrestling.
I mean, can you imagine having seen the matches before this, and then you see this, and you're just like, what's coming next? My goodness.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what's coming next, Chris. Coming next is a tribute to the Jersey All Pro Wrestling Wildcard match.
Okay.
And if you don't know what that is, you'll find out. Every year, Jersey All Pro Wrestling would have a show called Wildcard, where all of the championships were up on the line, but they just would not announce either the rules for the match or opponents for the match. It was kind of just a wild card. You came and you didn't know who to expect. Just like now, these fans are going to be treated to a man like Voyage.
Voyage.
I don't know if they understand what they're in for. The Conga Line King.
Now, is that a carry-on that you can bring on the plane with you? Or?
That's his gear. He brings his gear to the show. But if you could go get changed in a little minute.
Oh.
So he's not in his gear now, is what you're saying.
This is his,
you got there
his
late.
casual attire. Oh, look, is this a conga?
This is a conga line. This is so, and again, I mean, I hate to, recite the same things over and over again. But a guy like Voyage, you can think about a few things. Is this a mind game, or is this a guy who just likes to have some fun?
I think these are his ones.
I think this might.
This is a few more than one.
There might be a little from column A
This
and a little
comps.
bit from column B in your question, because look,
Look at those cute kids.
when you take this much time in your entrance, you're letting your opponent sit back there and get cold.
Yeah, and you're also just showing the opponent sitting in the back how much the people out there love you.
Yeah.
And they want you to succeed. You get people behind you. He just sparks a good time.
A very good time.
It uses up a lot of cardio right at the start.
If I wasn't sitting here in this seat right now, I would probably be in the conga line.
So would I be, hypothetically.
And if I had kids, I would let my kids jump into that conga line.
Bring them in there.
I would probably just sit there and watch this debauchery happen.
Debauchery.
Well, you call it debauchery, but I'll tell you what, Mike Tyson, when he would fight, he would make sure that he was warm. He would make sure he was warmed up before a fight. You don't want to go into a fight cold.
Are you trying to tell me that Mike Tyson was dancing to Gloria?
I mean, I don't think it's impossible. Well, he probably...
Referees are involved, and now we're thinking, if I'm in the back and I'm about to fight Voyage, I'm thinking, what kind of impartial treatment am I going to get if he's got the referees dancing in the conga line before we wrestle?
Well, I mean, look, I haven't seen any money exchanged a la the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. So
He's wearing slides.
Be wearing flip-flops.
Yes.
But there's nothing wrong with ingratiating yourself with both the crowd and the officials. He's just showing people that he's happy, and you know what? I think this is going to work out for him.
of the announced participants, I'd be interested to find out who is gonna have to. Oh, well, don't have to wait long to answer that.
This
question.
seems like it might be a little dangerous for him. I don't. If this is who I think it is, yeah, this could get ugly pretty quick.
I don't have the time to explain the amount of things that this man has done in the business. Not only the amount of things he's done in the business, but the amount of lives he has ruined in the business because of what he did to them in the ring.
With a name like Homicide, do you need that much time to explain that to people?
I think just saying the Notorious 187 Homicide is enough, especially in the wrestling business. And
so many legendary matches.
I'm
in
interested to
TNA.
see how he reacts in the ring to a guy like Ron Voyage.
Well, I mean, listen, let me tell you, Ron Voyage looks like he wants to have a lot of fun, but this is a big dude. I mean, you know, if he brings his carry on,
They're gonna get a dance off. I feel it.
Oh my God.
Give him
Ron,
a hug.
Ron,
Give him a hug.
I'm cringing, so run away.
I've seen these dance offs on the indies before. This is great.
Look, I mean, I think it's working a little bit. You give him a hug.
I've never seen Homicide smile before.
Homicide is pretty happy. That really speaks to the infectious nature of Ron Voyage.
Or does it speak to the dismissive nature that Homicide is kind of like, hey, what?
Oh.
A cutter.
Oh,
I was hoping to see a Homicide Voyage tag team, maybe. I thought maybe we were going to get,
Those two
Hom
names
Voyage.
Hom Voyage.
Right?
Wow. Can we trademark that?
Oh, we have to at this point. And then we can sell it back to them.
Oh my God. And he just threw something of Ron Voyage's into the crowd, and now he's got to wait for this next competitor.
It's good that Ron brought his bag, though, so whatever he was throwing. Oh, my gosh.
Another Jersey All-Pro Wrestling legend, Azrieal.
these two have been true.
Your guardian angel. Well, for those of you that don't know at home, Homicide is the trainer of Azrieal. Azrieal spent close to 20 years competing all over the indies, known as the good guy.
Oh, wow.
Right? Because I guess sarcasm is also something that Azrieal enjoys because he is not such a good
Not
guy.
a good guy.
No.
He's good and he's a guy. I just wouldn't use them together in the same sentence.
I like that. Yeah, very nice.
We're on a roll with things we should probably be trademarking.
We should be. Right? And as you can see, stationed on the outside of the ring, we have all of our officials just to make sure if the action is anywhere. We are, there's could be 10 guys in the ring at one point, so we don't know how it's going to go.
Right.
But what I'm interested in seeing is now the dynamic here. And see, Azrieal knows exactly who Homicide is. He's not going to give him any leeway.
No hugs like Ron Voyage was trying to do.
No conga lines, no dance moves.
But, I got to say, it may have thrown him completely off if there was a second conga line to come out from a separate person. Like
another...
Because maybe at that point, Homicide's saying, like, did I miss a memo about everyone having conga line? Should I have had a conga line?
You mean like if Ron Voyage had a brother or a cousin, John Voyage?
Stefan Voyage.
So just to be clear, how do you eliminate opponents out of this?
Okay, so the rules of this match are very simple. Every minute and a half, we get a new competitor in. You are eliminated by pinfall submission. Any classic one-on-one kind of match that you end, it just means now that you are eliminated from competition.
Okay.
And it continues until there is only one person remaining, and that person is declared the winner of the Jersey All Pro Wrestling Tribute Wildcard match.
So we've got Azrieal in the white tights. They are reminiscent of Seth Rollins' 2015 Summer Slam gear, which was classic. And then, of course, we've got Homicide here in the Guy Fieri Flavortown Flame pants. So just wanted to get a little check-in on the gear that competitors are wearing here.
Homicide also sporting a custom Jersey All Pro Wrestling T-shirt that he had specifically made. If there was ever a least fun point to enter this match, when Azrieal and Homicide are fighting in the middle of the ring is probably the moment that I would choose to not want to be a part of it. But
Look,
Wade Kreuger.
One thing I would want is Wade Kreuger as my stepdad. That is for darn sure.
Yeah, so what Paul is referring to, if you aren't familiar, is the tag team that Wade Kreuger is a part of with Radley Belmont as the stepdads.
Well, is that why he is wearing that wonderful waistcoat, that beautiful vest with the that's a very stepdaddy kind of top? Is it just me?
I guess what Wade Kreuger is doing right now is understanding I'm not going to have a very long time in this match, so I'm going to get the most out of it. Let me just get one cheer from the crowd. A handshake.
If I were him, I would send them both to their rooms.
Are you telling me that Wade Kreuger has no chance at beating up Homicide?
I mean, listen. I've seen Wade Kreuger in the ring. I'm not saying, and going back to our last match, any competitor can win at any point in time. I just feel like, and he still has nose.
I mean, he has his nose now, Arcadia. Like, what do you expect Homicide to do?
Knows that was a
How
bad
are you
mistake.
supposed to breathe without a nose?
I'm cringing.
Look at him.
If there was a top 10 list of things not to do to Homicide, conga lining him and stealing his nose.
And then we just threw it on the ground.
Frankly, I don't think this level of violence belongs in Constant. That's just where I'm at.
It's just my thought.
And he's touching him again.
He had to put his nose back.
Okay.
I would have just left it in front of him.
Run away, Wade.
I apologize.
He should run away.
I'm just gonna go.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
And I think that's what he's doing, right? The obvious choice is just cutting your losses and leaving the ring.
He's doing what I would do.
And Azrieal being the good guy. Oh, that he is.
The good guy, in quotey fingers.
And are we going to get, another cutter?
No.
And Wade Kreuger's time here is over.
That's good night.
Good night, Wade.
He broke his jaw there, it looks like.
Ooh. This is an interesting prospect. BT Bull about to enter. Now led to the ring by Nicholas Kaye. BT Bull, a massive human being.
Huge guy, my goodness.
Yep, 6'5", over 270 pounds.
You've been in the ring with this man.
I have.
He's beaten you too, hasn't he?
He has. I have felt the power. Actually, I've lost to everyone in the ring right now. Yep, and
if it makes you feel any better, both of you can mollywop me. So just take that into account.
I don't take any solace in that at all. And it looks like BT Bull is living up to his name here, charging the two competitors in the ring, the veterans. Obviously, the experience level goes to Azrieal and Homicide. The size advantage clearly to BT Bull. I don't think Homicide and Azrieal together even equal
I was going to say, listen, you could be in the ring for 30 years. You could be a vet. You could be a vet's vet. When you've got somebody the size of a BT Bull, there's just no denying that. There's no combating that in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and if you go back, 15 years to the heyday of Jersey Pro Wrestling, and you said to me that there was going to be someone walking into a ring and physically manhandling both Homicide and Azrieal at the same time, I would have called you a liar.
But here we are.
Well, let's give where it's due, right? So ever since Nicholas Kaye has been managing BT Bull, I think he's been a lot more focused and a lot more dangerous in the ring.
And I think that speaks to the ability that Nicholas Kaye has harnessing, people's strengths and allowing them to perform at the highest level that they can. And I don't know what he's going for. You got a double goozle. Oh, and an eye poke, a four eye poke.
Well, that's all you can do in that situation.
And now we got another competitor entering, right? BT Bull throwing people away, waiting for the next competitor to come in.
I think he just likes
Jeff Cannonball.
Oh my lord!
Goodness,
I'm getting dizzy looking at this.
That's a lot of blood.
It is a lot of
if you're
blood.
queasy, you might want to look away.
Quick recap on Jeff Cannonball's career. Major player in a lot of the hardcore deathmatch scenes. Any of the major tournaments that you could think about, he's been a part of. That's what he's getting known for, and also known as King Ugly. He calls himself that. I would never.
I wouldn't bring him home to my parents, but
he's a nice guy. He's a very nice. He does soda reviews online. Yeah, he drinks soda and then tells you what they taste like.
Done a lot of soda.
So
reviews.
And it looks like we're gonna get a one-on-one face-off here, and this is again plays to the idea of ow, someone paid for those chairs. Please don't break them.
Looks like it hits that lady's leg in the front row.
You never know. You never know who is going to be in control at any moment in this match, so you got to kind of be ready for anything. And it seems like right now,
slamming.
I mean, he might
like
have
Hogan
that
and
power.
Andre.
That's a big man. This is just big meaty men slapping meat.
Did you say
big meaty men slapping meat? know, they're slapping their
like
meat
that.
against each other.
Cannonball gets the upper hand on this duel. What's he got in his hand? What is that?
Is that powder? What is that?
It's just a piece of paper? Is he gonna? Oh my god! Well, we got a
Meanwhile,
chair
there's
shot
a
on the outside.
beating outside.
Oh, it's a paper cut.
That
He just gave him a
There
paper
is
cut.
nothing worse.
I don't know
my
if
God, my
I
fingers
think
hurt right
we
now.
should stop the broadcast.
Yeah, because my
It was
fingers hurt
between
right
the
now.
fingers, too.
This isn't right.
Oh, and Nicholas Kaye getting involved, right? Trying to pick the right time to and the
So
wrong
that was
time.
an 8x11 sheet. The ref didn't check him before he
It's a big slam.
Yeah, and here comes Jeff Cannonball. Homicide
Oh,
now
Lord.
attacking BT Bull.
This doesn't
And here
look
comes
good.
Azrieal getting their
Cannonball just ordering,
payback. Yeah, right?
ordering him.
Oh, God.
Oh, here we
goodness.
go.
Oh!
Oh,
And a cannonball from Cannonball.
Cannonball. It's a cannonball run. That's of course something that anyone under 45 doesn't know anything about.
Yes, if you were born after 1990, you have no idea what Cannonball Run is. But BT Bull eliminated Big Sturdy. Sal Mistretta making his way now.
More big meaty men slapping meat. That's what this is.
You know, and you would be confused by that name because Big Sturdy is not a physical big sturdiness. He's
got a low center of gravity.
and that's what makes him sturdy.
I hear you.
So he's not really typically what we would call a big dude, but I think it's his body awareness, maybe the years of experience operating in a machine type body like that.
But I'll tell you, he may not be the tallest necessarily, but I think a lot of fans are just kind of confused when they see guys in the ring in terms of perspective. Listen, you get in the ring with these guys, and they've got some girth and some size to them, even if they're not all 6'5".
Oh, and Big Sturdy. Wow,
I mean, it takes a strong, sturdy man to do something like that.
And Cannonball's out.
Right?
Being able to use your body in certain ways, that's a... And who we got next?
You can go ahead and walk up to Big Sturdy and tell him he's 5'9", and he'll suplex you into the ground.
Is that France?
No.
Oh, Rob Vegas.
Oh.
I thought it was Rob Paris. Rob Vegas, another mainstay, used to be in a tag team in the old Jersey All-Pro Wrestling days called Style and Finesse with Mike Donovan. So we've seen a lot of Rob Vegas in the past.
You popped me with that one.
With Style and Finesse and Mike Donovan. And he goes right after Sal Mistretta, gets him out of the ring, and attacks Homicide. A nice clothesline there to Azrieal. Catches the line.
Oh,
DDT.
nice DDT.
my money's on Vegas to win this whole thing.
I don't know.
Are
I
you
think I'm
doing
with
that?
Big Sturdy.
Are you doing that just because like money on Vegas, like is the because like Vegas
The
is
house always wins, right?
gambling? Yeah. So are these gambling puns? I mean,
They might be. I'm not a big gambler. I do the penny slots when I go to Atlantic City. Oh my gosh. Wait a second.
And I don't understand Azriel's strategy as much as I guess emotionally he just got clotheslined by Vegas, so he
I think
wanted
he
to
was
get
just
it.
upset.
He wanted his get back.
His pound of flesh.
But if you have someone in a submission and you're watching it happen, why would you get involved?
If anything, I would double down on the submission of the other individual.
Exactly.
Maybe grab a leg or a pinky or something.
And now it seems like getting involved in that is not going to pay off. There you go, nice suplex. Oh, are we going to get 3 amigos from Homicide?
That's 2.
You know, the tribute to
Eddie,
the late great.
Eddie Guerrero.
And it is interrupted by a roll-up. Woo. Vegas falling into the corner here. Homicide on top of him. So who do we got? We got, Azrieal over here in the corner, Big Sturdy sitting out there. We just had eliminations of Jeff Cannonball and BT Bull. Wade Kreuger eliminated from the match. And now we have Homicide strictly in control. Our second competitor to enter this match.
Homicide's been in here since number 2. I'd be on the outside taking a breather right now.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you, Homicide is very familiar with this style of match.
Of
I mean,
course.
he's been in this match in promotions all over the world. Well, let's see what's going on here.
If I know that music, it is
Oh my goodness.
former member of the Hit Squad, Steve Monsta Mack.
Business is about to pick up.
Steve Monsta Mack, another of Homicide's students, an enormous legacy in Jersey All Pro Wrestling. When you think about Jersey All Pro Wrestling, it's impossible to think about it without the accomplishments of the Hit Squad and specifically Steve Monsta Mack.
Well, with Mack coming in right now, do you think we're going to see a Obi-Wan Kenobi, Darth Vader, the teacher has surpassed the pupil type of situation?
I wouldn't think to see it immediately as much as I would like to, and you could even see right there, Steve noticed
A little...
Yeah, but he noticed he was going for Vegas, but he noticed that Homicide was there, and he was like, I can't let him get involved.
Yeah.
And I think it's not really going to... I don't think your personal rivalries really rear their head until you know that you have a specific position in the match where you are stable enough to win it.
Right.
You
Or
know?
sturdy enough to win it.
Ooh.
Like Big Sturdy right here coming back into the match, showing what
Full
he
of
can
puns. Any other Vegas puns from you over here?
No. Oh,
Oh, it looks like he's going to roll the dice with this maneuver.
yeah, he does. Oh, he got caught.
And well, he's got the pin.
do. 2.
Right,
Oh,
so-
that was a 2.
So with that crossbody, we got Monsta Mack landing on Big Sturdy, and now Vegas in control.
Oh,
And he went for it again, and it looks like boom.
Oh,
got put on tilt.
good night.
I like that. You hear that one? Put on tilt.
I did. I was about to be like, oi, Vegas. But, I didn't. I was going to do it, and then I decided against it.
Woof. Ugh. Oh, and Big Sturdy steals the pin.
Yeah, didn't even see what happened there.
The one fit wonder.
wonder.
I don't have all the time to rattle off the nicknames. He gave me one which I refused to say.
I love the
Flexacutioner.
Flexacutioner, by the way. These are great nicknames.
All right, so I'm going to read them off to you because I'm okay with saying them now.
As long as you're comfortable.
I'm not, but I'm going to do it anyway. All right.
You're a trooper.
Oh, Vegas getting some love from the front row. So it is the Flexacutioner.
Mm-hmm.
What was the first one?
It was the
One Fit Wonder.
One Fit Wonder.
So it is the One Fit Wonder,
Stay
the
flexed.
Flexacutioner,
Flexacutioner.
The stay flexed muscle man.
the Girthy Gladiator,
Did he say the Stay Flexed Muscle Man? That's great.
the
Anyway,
Girthy Gladiator,
the Girthy Gladiator. GG. Okay.
massive Mike Seaway.
Massive Mike Seaway.
Yes.
I think my favorite might be the Girthy Gladiator.
Yeah,
because
and
you
that's
can
the
go.
one that I didn't want to say because I don't think that he understands that girth is not.
It means multiple things. I'm
Yes.
going to keep things PG right now.
Ooh,
I think
on your
people
left.
can read between the lines on that one.
Mike Seaway calls that spring into the ring stunner, the on your left. Celebration starting early. A nice spine buster now. It looks like massive Mike Seaway looks to have control. Oh, he's going for the burpee elbow.
So I was thinking that
No.
spine buster, it could be like a C vertebrae type thing because he's C.
Seaway, C vertebrae.
C vertebrae.
The way.
Now you know what?
Now
It's
we're
not there.
reaching.
It's not there. It's not there.
Sturdy Sal back into the ring, and he looks like we're going to get some squats, right? What better way to use your opponent than to use them to work out with?
You know,
And
you got to get your reps in.
a less than desirable place kicked by Azrieal, and it looks like Seaway is see you later.
Seaway needs to work on that lower lumbar training.
It was his
The lower lumbar.
the wiener. That's a wiener.
The wiener bone's connected to the vertebrae.
Vertilower vertebrae. An attempt now here from Azrieal with a big Yakuza kick into the corner.
When you got a man of that much mass, you've got to just throw everything at him.
Ooh, and Big Sturdy with a flipping spear. And it looks like Steve Monsta Mack is near the end here. Sized up with a cutter.
And just pin him again. Jump on him, everybody. Listen, when you have a battle royal type situation at any given moment, you got to get the big guys
And
out
then
of
look
there.
at Azrieal using it to his advantage, knowing that he was on top of that pile. As soon as they get rid of Steve Monsta Mack, he is now on top of Homicide.
Absolutely relentless. The antithesis of a good guy in this regard.
I love that word.
Antithesis is
No,
a
I was
beautiful
going to
word.
say good.
Oh yeah, no, good.
If you know anything about Azrieal, you know he was attempting a frog splash there, but noticed. Oh, and here we go. The cop killer coming. Nope, flips out of it.
Got out of it.
Oh,
Right to the.
this is how Seaway got out. Oh, but Big Sturdy in here to make the save.
Sturdy.
Rolls out of that with a drag. Azrieal's going to get rid of him. Go back to Homicide. Nope. He attempts to dive on the outside. Right in front of a crowd of Sturdy Sal t-shirts.
Where can we get those t-shirts?
He was giving them away for free before the show.
No, he wasn't. He was selling them. You're so mean. A catch the kick into a... Woo! I don't know what he calls it.
I would call it a sturdy bomb because it was very... Oh, my gosh.
It was successful.
Whatever it was.
Whatever it was. And listen, I picked Big Sturdy when he came out here.
You did?
I did.
Who did you pick?
We can go...
I got Vegas. Is he still in the match?
I don't think
I
so.
don't know, maybe check.
Let's see.
All right, I mean, between the two of these... I mean, Sturdy Sal definitely has the youth on his, and he does. I don't think he understands the gravity of this moment.
This situation has a lot of gravitas.
Right, and I think the inexperience might actually do him some good because I don't even know if he understands who he's in the ring with right now.
Sometimes it's better to go in without all of that mental baggage and just to go in for the love of the game.
And not even to mention that, Homicide has been in this match now going on over 25 minutes. So, it might be...
My pick is SP Anderson.
It's a good pick.
Still in the ring. No one's even touched him.
That's right. No damage.
None.
100% HP, as the gamer kids would say.
I don't know what that means.
It's cool. No, it's fine.
No, it's cool. I get it. Nice send-off here by Big Sturdy.
Oh, nice clothesline.
Yeah, and this is where this is where you'll see Homicide.
I think Homicide
element.
I think he just apologized to someone in the crowd for doing what he did to that poor sturdy man.
Yeah, I mean, at least he apologizes,
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Just beautiful. Excellent conditioning. I think just based on Homicide's demeanor over the years of his career, people look at him a certain way, not really realizing how technically sound he is, just how gifted he truly is as an
He was the
athlete.
second one in the match. He's still out here.
Yeah.
Former Ring of Honor World Champion, beat Bryan Danielson for it. So, when we talk...
TNA Tag Champ.
Yeah, I mean, X Division Champion.
Right.
The list of things... And there's never been a break in there. He's just constantly been, and look, even scouting a young guy, knows his moves, knows what just put out Azrieal.
Very sturdy right there.
And that is a punishing kick to the back of Sturdy Sal.
Oh, wrenched the neck. See that?
Oh, and a fish hook. Now, as being someone who's been on the receiving end of the fingers gripping and pulling, it is not just there's nothing else you can think about. So like when you're trying to get yourself back into a match, when someone's ripping at your face, it's almost like it's more mentally taxing than it is physically taxing because of the pain.
They're blocking your airways too. It's hard to breathe.
Oh, Sturdy Sal going for it.
Arms carry.
He hits it again.
Oh.
Is he going to take this?
He might have. Oh.
2. Oh, and Homicide gets out.
He looked right up at that referee. He's like, get your butt down there and make this 3 count.
Yeah, and if you're Sturdy Sal now, you're thinking to yourself, what else do I have to do to put Homicide away? Because this is not even normal Homicide, which is terrifying to begin with.
Right.
This is, I'm going to pay honor to something that I built myself within.
He's got
as far as Jersey All Pro Wrestling goes.
visceral stake in this right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does he usually go up to the top rope?
He does not, and you could tell he is not comfortable.
I don't think that knee looks good. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
I think he might have tweaked something there in his knee.
Homicide instantly capitalizing.
A dragon screw. Oof. And now an STF. And this might be it.
It has to be.
And just grinding the bridge of the nose with that wrist. And honestly, it looks like Sal has an opportunity to get to the ropes here.
This is going to show a lot of grit if he can make that crawl.
Yeah, and he's close. Homicide trying to readjust to make sure that he got him in it.
I think he was trying to dry his hands off. His hands are all wet, and they're slipping off his face.
Like the sweat, you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, and he repositioned. It's it. It can. Yeah.
There's
wow,
no getting out of that.
Oh, and that pain
in the neck.
Big Sturdy's put up a big fight up to this point, but I just don't see how he can get out of
there
this.
There it is.
And that's
the tap.
it. Yep.
And we got our winner. And it looks like Homicide is going to pay. Is it? What are you saying? Homage?
I would say homage.
Yeah.
So we can sound fancy schmancy.
Yeah. To Jersey All Pro Wrestling. It is. What?
Oh, it looks like a fan just
Wait a
the
second.
ring.
That's Ron
Wait
Voyage.
a second. Ron Voyage never was eliminated.
And it's
He was never eliminated.
That was his opportunity, though. It's over.
I totally forgot about him.
Oh, Ron Voyage.
The element of surprise has been lifted, and it seems like right back to the...
Don't count him out just yet.
Is this it?
Ron!
Are you kidding me?
Ron Voyage.
Look at Homicide's face. This is the upset of the millennium.
He's like, check the replay.
I don't think anyone's more surprised than Ron Voyage. Wow. What an end. What a finish to that. He's so surprised.
Well, listen, when you have... Look. Ron Voyage, a big, talented athlete, loves conga lines.
He looks more surprised
incredibly
than the guy that
sexy.
sold him that shirt.
You know?
Wow. I am in shock, honestly, right now.
He pre-checked his luggage, so when he goes, to TSA, when he takes his flight, he can just bring the bag that he brought out to the ring with him. Ron Voyage, ladies and gentlemen, and you know what? This was my pick from the start. I never said anything about Big Sturdy or anybody. I think my pick from the start was Ron Voyage. And I don't know why you two small-brained individuals were against me on that. Shame on you.
Yeah, shame on us. Why would we ever think? And a show of respect from Homicide here.
Again,
Well,
the man that knows about the bow.
And I think
The bow giving was great.
I think the phrase, you were the one who told me about kid phrases before. Game respects game. The fact that Ron Voyage, took a chance in waiting for the opportune time to come out and earn a victory, I think Homicide's got to respect that.
He didn't even have to change. He can go grab his gear.
So, but what does the future hold now? Because in a one-on-one situation, you get Ron Voyage, who just won a major match like this. So now, thinking from a perspective of putting him in future matches, you're going to give him something, and I hope that he's up to the challenge of earning that spot.
Well, I think Ron Voyage, you talk about what's in his future. I
Yeah.
would say a conga line is probably in his future,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, he won the match, and when you are the winner of a professional wrestling match, you set the terms. So if he wants to have a conga match with someone, that is his choice and his decision.
I'm sure we can come up with some rules for a conga match, and the crowd loves him here. Look at this,
Oh.
hugging the fans.
Just strangled him.
It's a hug. You are in for a treat.
All right. Always ready for a treat. Let's see what this is.
So, Dr. Sleep, psychological warfare is the game that he plays. And we're going to see Dr. Sleep try to defend the legacy that he's created over him for many years for himself against a relatively unknown on the independent circuit in Shaun Damage McNelis. It's always interesting to see what version of Anthony Gangone you get. He is constantly reinventing himself, trying to find, I guess, whatever in the moment he feels he is what we get out of him.
Well, I'm just looking at him, and I'm seeing a yin and yang in his gear, and I'm just wondering if that speaks to his duality as a wrestler and a performer.
Yeah, I think that is a perfect kind of definition of who we see from him.
He's got different sides.
And they are polar opposites. And
Now-
here is Shaun Damage McNelis.
Now now you said he's a relative newcomer.
I wouldn't use the word newcomer. I would say relatively unknown.
Sure.
He's been wrestling for a very long time, since 2004, 2005. So coming close to about 20 years wrestling.
Right.
It's just that when he does, he has been relatively loyal to the promotions that he's been a part of. So
Sure.
specifically UWA Elite, based in Central Jersey, but the laundry list of accomplishments he has in that promotion that has seen guys like Anthony Gangone has wrestled for UWA Elite. Joe Gacy, Joey Janela. You get those. Even Leo Rush has wrestled in UWA Elite. So
we're talking more about a veteran who just hasn't maybe gotten all of the opportunities that maybe he should have gotten.
Yeah, or just not even. I wouldn't say opportunities as much as I would say has been comfortable performing at
Where he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
I think he's just sick and tired of beating up the same guys. He's done it time and time again. I think him branching out to come out and beat Gangone is a good step for him.
Yeah, and we'll see if that's something that seems like a gamble that's willing or is going to pay off for him.
Right.
And as we look at this match setup, we have referee Rich George in charge of the action in the ring. Right, Gangone gloving up, getting himself ready for this match.
Hopefully those gloves aren't loaded. I don't know. I'm just saying.
The referee just looked at the glove. Apparently, if the glove doesn't fit,
must have quit.
Must have quit.
What is that?
It's an OJ thing.
It's an OJ thing. And Shaun McNelis seems to take control here early on, right, with the punches and the kicks in the corner, following Dr. Sleep from corner to corner with a punishing, brawling offense. If you don't know if you haven't seen a lot from Anthony Gangone before, his offensive attack is very smothering, and it's very constricting. When I think of Anthony Gangone's offensive strategy, I often think of the way a snake would wrap itself around its opponent and kind of strangle the life out of it.
Well, we just saw that when he was in that chin lock, and after he got out of it, went directly to more neck-based offense going into that constriction that you're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And Shaun Damage McNelis does seem like he has control early on here, but it's only a matter of time. Well, and there it is right there, right? It's only a matter of time before Anthony Gangone is going to try to rebound.
Oh.
And you look at his,
the gloves are. I think they're
and you think about the offense. That's taking the breath out of your opponent with those chops. That's very similar. It's a smothering type attack.
So now there's two things that Damage has to focus on. One, not the crowd, and two, keeping up this innovative offense. I think the reason that he's had control is because he's been hitting with these combination of maneuvers you don't typically see from another individual.
And I think that's what allows Damage to be effective as being someone who has flown under the radar as long as he has. If you're someone who's in the day and age that we live in,
right?
If you're an active professional wrestler and you are active to the point where now on YouTube you're being seen nonstop, then everyone's kind of aware of your offense, right? They know what you're capable of. And a guy like Shaun, whose matches aren't broadcast all over the place, you don't really know much about it.
Right.
Oh, nice again. Go and give him his headband back. Referee again, blatantly blind to the simple choking techniques.
Well, you just told me that he was trying to give him his headband back. So which one is it? Yeah, see?
Is it a receipt or is it just a gesture to say, hey, man, sorry I took this from you?
I think he might be just making sure it didn't fall off his head again.
And now it seems as if we do have control going straight into the corner.
Great
of
shot.
Anthony.
Biting
his ear.
Just as you mentioned control, things get a little out of control.
Very Mike Tyson-esque.
And we saw a little biting earlier tonight.
We talked earlier about the benefit of having the crowd on your side.
Absolutely.
I think a guy like Anthony Gangone actually benefits more from eliciting a response of hatred.
Yeah. He's not there to be liked. He's there to win. And
but he's also not ignoring the crowd. You know what I mean? Like I feel like if you were someone who doesn't care about the crowd or doesn't need the crowd behind you to perform well.
Like say a legend like a Bad News Brown. Bad News Brown a lot of times wouldn't even acknowledge the crowd.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He's letting you know that he knows you're there. He just doesn't like you.
Right, and I think this is the thing that Gangone is going to... He thrives. It's almost like a fuel for him to feel the hatred.
Yes.
Which is definitely something different.
It's that can't-do attitude, right? Well, the crowd's telling you can't do something, you can't win, and he's just like, oh, yeah? Let me show you.
Yeah, and then getting a response from them as he says, like, yeah, see, I told you.
Right.
Oh, and there's that smothering, that...
Chop.
And early on in this match, it looks like Shaun McNelis is already gasping for air.
Restricting the airways with it. Look, just right in the face.
Yep, disrupting the breathing. just putting your opponent in any uncomfortable position you can think of.
I mean, listen, anyone that is watching this right now and has not had someone rub their forearm back and forth across your nose, you have someone do that to you, and you tell me how well you're breathing. You tell me how good you feel.
Yeah, just rub your knuckle.
A big Sambo suplex with that, a quick burst of energy from Shaun. You saw that, almost knee-jerk response from his body.
Right. I think he actually knocked a glove off, or was that? Well, did the referee kick something away?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. And then
he got caught.
Oh, another look at that.
Yeah, textbook.
Pure power.
And I think this is, the moments like this is where you see the separation between a guy who's well-traveled and a guy who isn't. The amount of experience Shaun has is immense. Like, he does have a lot of experience in the ring, but, well-traveled experience allows you to adapt to different styles.
See different techniques.
Yeah.
Because, that throw is almost like a judo-style throw.
Right.
And you're only going to be able to, adapt or incorporate that in your own style if you see those things because you're well-traveled.
And he was smart enough to know, hey, I'm going to exuberate a little bit more, energy to take 2 steps towards the middle of the ring before I drop him.
Right.
Because I'm going to cover him right after that. So, at that point that he's further away from those ropes to be able to save himself.
Yeah, and it seems like in most of the matchups we've seen tonight, without talking just specifically about the Jersey All-Pro Wildcard match, we've seen a lot of experience versus inexperience.
Yes.
And I feel like this is another example of that. Yep.
Sometimes heart overcomes the talent.
And it
Just
seems like it seems like Shaun is starting to get desperate with some of the attempts that he's making, out on the ring. And what is this?
Speaking of desperate,
it's a mask that he's putting on.
What is now? We talked about the yin and yang before.
Yeah,
is this another side of him? I don't even know what to expect right now.
Yeah, and it's like I don't know. I guess we're gonna have to wait to see what that mask brings out of him.
Yes. Might have helped block some of that impact of the ring apron,
like the padding of the mask.
Yeah, the padding. Yeah,
that's possible.
And it seems now Gangone biding his time to get back into the ring, still wearing that mask.
Damage might be making another bad move here.
Yeah, but it's also allowing and now the mask comes off.
Right.
Well, if he doesn't know who he wants to be, then his opponent can't possibly know who he wants to be.
Great point.
So, my goodness, when you talk about mind games, what's his opponent thinking at this moment? It's like, there's a mask, there's not a mask.
Whew. And I think Gangone, that was a little closer than I think even Gangone had expected it to be.
Absolutely.
That flurry of moves coming out of McNelis. And that speaks to his experience as far as being in the ring itself. Taking him lightly is not something that you want to do.
He has a level of wherewithal just because of that experience that, can't really be duplicated any other way.
Caught in a backbreaker, going for that finishing maneuver that Shaun McNelis likes to use. It's had multiple names throughout the year, so I don't know which one he's using now. And back to the offense. Whoop, and switch. There it is.
Okay.
A flatliner type maneuver here.
Yeah, more holding around the neck.
Yeah, you could see the whiplash that it brought down to the mat. Let's see if it finishes off. Nope.
McNelis has to be really disappointed there because that is a devastating finisher that I feel like could get the 1-2-3 on any given night. Again, the level of torque that he put on the neck was just incredible.
Shaun's trying to get the crowd behind him now, right? And it seems like they're behind him. I hear, I can hear that crowd going nuts for him in the back, and hopefully it's enough for him, to keep that momentum that he's got right now going as he perches Anthony Gangone on the top rope here, looking for some sort of offense. I don't know what he's searching for here. Maybe a superplex.
If I were Gangone, I'd maybe grab that belt. I don't know if his belt is supposed to be as loose as it is, but I see a big green wangling thing that I feel like I could take advantage of in a way.
I think we've invented a few new words tonight. Wangling is one of my new favorites, I believe. And it looks like a suplex back into the ring. We're going to get... back onto his feet. Gangone now.
Reversed it.
I think he got a little grab of that wrangling, that green wrangling.
Slingshotting into a suplex of his own.
2 count.
Clear 2 count from the referee.
I don't think it was a fast count at all.
You could see the wheels turn. I think what's interesting about watching Gangone work too is you could see the wheels turning.
Sure.
You know, for some other guys, you know, it's instincts that allow them to operate the way they do.
Yeah.
And for Anthony Gangone, I don't feel like it's purely an instinctual attack as much as everything is thought out. Everything is methodical.
That was the exact word I was going to use.
Yeah, and everything.
$1 million dream.
Let's see if he has an...
Speaking of methodical, listen, $1 million dream, a sleeper, any variation of the such is going to be that methodical move that can, if not put your opponent away, and believe me, it can. It's going to slow him down. It's going to get the pace to kind of slow down a little bit where you want it.
And that's what we talked about. That smothering offense, right? He's trying to just suck the life out of McNelis as we progress into this match a little bit longer. You know, and almost baiting him into making mistakes.
Yeah.
To put him into a situation. Nice pop over. Oh, looking for a German. Elbows are going to
Those
prevent that from
very
happening.
Pinpoint, though. Yeah, that's
right on the chin. Ooh. Back up onto the top. I guess we're going to see what McNelis was going for that first time.
There's only one way to find out. Let's see if he can nail it.
And again, it looks like Gangone trying to fight his way off. Battle on the top rope. Setting himself up here for a superplex type. And that's what it is.
And a superplex.
Ooh, right onto the superplex. And now it seems like both men, trying to get back to their feet. McNelis still gasping from air from that smothering attack. Obviously Gangone a little bit fresher at this point.
Up.
I was waiting for that 3 count. I thought it was over.
I thought it was another typical blow from the referee.
And I know we touched on it a little bit with the Bailey stuff about, ring awareness, knowing where you are, experience of being in the ring, and thinking about everything that's happening as it's happening in the ring. And
when you're that close to the ropes, you have to know where you are.
Yep.
And listen,
there's a good angle of it. He could have just simply dragged him before making that cover.
And we've talked about some of the guys, with experience or with more well-traveled experience know the situations that, could arise in certain circumstances, and pulling your opponent back to the middle of the ring is something that can help you win that match. Yep, that flatliner type maneuver, again blocked by Gangone, but then reversed by McNelis. It is plenty of reverses here.
Again, going back to that smothering, constricting offense into a nice high-impact move.
And that was almost like he used McNelis' move against him.
His own momentum. Here we get that. We have that mask again. He's going into some kind of a dark place.
Yeah, it's almost like he's turning himself into a completely different person.
It's almost like it calms himself down.
Maybe he was trying to take it off before because he was trying to fight whatever this is. Maybe it's a side of him that he doesn't even like.
Here we go. Looking for that knee. Fall away slam. And there is some life still left in Shaun McNelis.
It took a lot out of Shaun.
I'm just worried for him because I don't know what this man sees. I did it when I saw the look in his eyes when he finally put that mask back on, and something snapped in him.
Yeah, he is. That snapped is a perfect word. Oh, and he pins him. So, wow, that was it.
He has snapped.
But not only is he snapped, but he's using.
No, we got to get somebody in here.
So he's using. Yeah, we need some help for referee Rich George here. It seems like Gangone was so locked into the submission, and McNelis was out that his shoulders were flat on the ground. So we got a pinfall out of a submission.
And he was passed out to begin with, so the match was over, regardless, any way you look at it.
That's much like what can happen sometimes in a figure 4, for example.
Right, with your shoulders being flat
on the mat.
Yep. But any way you want to slice it here, Dr. Sleep, Anthony Gangone, successful.
But did you see how he gave him a little handshake, a little recognition?
Yeah, and he took the mask off.
As soon as the mask came off, he seemed to calm down.
Well, I think earlier, before this match even took place, a lot of the words that were kind of transferred back and forth between the two of them was Shaun saying, I know everything about you. I know where you've been. We've been in a locker room together before, and I reached out to shake your hand, and I've shook your hand before, and I think Gangone knows, what kind of match this was for McNelis as sort of a proving ground match.
Yeah.
And looking for, that handshake is that sign of approval.
Yeah.
And the mask comes off, the different Anthony Gangone, the original one, comes back, and we get a handshake out of it. And look at him handshaking
everybody else.
The smile on his face.
Let me tell you that original Gangone.
I'm excited for this one for multiple reasons, and specifically, I think, because we've talked about with the last couple matches, it's like experience versus inexperience.
Right.
All three of these guys are still trying to break out and make a name for themselves.
Right.
So I'm excited about seeing first Too Smooth Shaun Smith, formerly known as Rocket. Trained at the H2O school under guys like Matt Tremont.
Of course.
And Mike Quest. A lot of the guys that are now becoming or making a name for themselves with that school. And I think that Shaun Smith, when you really break down what makes guys different from each other, is able to do things in the ring that no other human being I've ever been able to see.
I mean, listen, just as he hyped up the crowd, I saw him perform an athletic maneuver in the middle of the ring where it didn't even seem like he was touching the ground. I'm probably going to have to run that film back and see what he even did just now.
Yeah, he does things in the ring that I've never seen done before. Easily.
Right. Easily. It didn't look like he was putting any effort at all in it. It was just effortless.
And now we got the Prince of Pyro, Junie Underwood. And if you want to know who trains or who has taught a lot of what Junie Underwood knows to him, all we have to do is look at the main event of our first half at Speedball, Mike Bailey.
Oh, wow. Well, then, I mean, listen, that's all you need to know. If his mentor and trainer is any indication in terms of what he's going to bring to the table, the athletic gentlemen that we already saw come into the ring and he are going to make some magic happen, but they're not the only ones, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And I'm just super excited to see Junie Underwood on the heels of a 2-week road trip where he was traveling, I think it was 7 or 8 different states or cities, and all coming to an end here tonight. He wanted to make sure he was here for this show, and he drove all through the night to get here. Which brings us to the New York trip.
Matt Vertigo.
For some reason, Matt Vertigo's got this chip on his shoulder. Should be the New York chip. And I was waiting for one of you two to do it, so I jumped in first. But when this guy is angry, you feel it.
Now,
at 6'6", 200 and something pounds. He's a force.
This is a different kind of athlete than the first two gentlemen that stepped into the ring. Just looking at this man, I know that this is the type of person that if he's bouncing at a club, if he's doing security, he's throwing you 10 feet in the air like Uncle Phil on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air throws jazz out the front door.
I feel like when I first saw Vertigo wrestle, he was like 100 pounds lighter. Am I mistaken?
Yeah. No, he has...
Oh, he's a big boy.
And not only is he a big boy, but he knows the work that it took to put in to become who he is
to today. Gain that 100 pounds
he was just one of those skinny guys that you watch. He had the height, but he never had the strength, and now he's really starting to put it all together.
Yeah.
And he's got the attitude to go with it.
And that'll take you a long way.
He's done being nice to people. He was nice for a while, and now he's taking what's his.
Right.
And it seems like Junie Underwood is not impressed.
There's something to also be said about a quiet confidence, and that's what I'm seeing from Underwood.
Yeah, and I think also what separates these three guys is all of their attitudes. Specifically, they're all three different types of personalities. Shaun Smith, a man of a very small amount of words, does all his talking in the ring with his abilities. Junie Underwood loves to get the crowd fired up, and yes, that was a pun. Loves to get them fired up. The Prince of Pyro, and Matt Vertigo feeds off of people telling him he can't do things and trying to really have that show me attitude. So it's definitely a nice blend of guys that we're going to have in this matchup.
And Matt Vertigo's like, if you don't like me, you can grab my Hitchcock. Get it, Vertigo?
If you can reach it. Look at him. He's almost toying with the fact that these guys can't reach him.
Almost toying. I don't think he needed that qualifier there. I think he looks like a boy among men. I mean, a man among boys right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at the strength.
Where did they think this was going to go?
Yeah, I know. And I know it's labeled as a triple threat match, but if these two don't work together,
then they're insane.
And there's no shot at them.
Speaking of triple threat, it is no disqualification
as well. Yeah, a nice arm drag there from. And we
nice try to attempt at an arm drag.
Oh, but great adaptability.
Yep. Oh,
a nice sunset flip.
The athleticism
smooth,
just
too smooth.
Absolutely too smooth.
Whoa,
oh my goodness!
What did he just do?
I mean, again,
that's in some like sci-fi movie.
I'm at a loss for words in terms of the athleticism these two bring to the table.
They both had the blue pill.
Ooh, and there's that teamwork that we talked about they needed to have. Junie Underwood, Shaun Smith working together here to try to chop down that big old tree. Oh, and I guess this is the time where now they understand that they're going to have to compete with each other to win this match. Ooh.
Oh, nice knee.
Ooh, and a dance. There's a lot of running. A lot. Yeah. The speed.
Well, I mean,
I'm impressed by the speed.
In terms of utilizing a high flying, high impact style, you have to have the amount of cardio that you need to say be a soccer player to be able to pull off effectively. Yeah. Because if they're not able to keep this pace up with this big man who's lurking behind them, by the way,
literally lurking, it's like a horror movie.
They're not going to be able to catch up. They've got to keep that speed and that pace going, because as soon as they slow it down, he's going to beat the brakes out of both of them.
Yeah, so let's talk strategy here. Well, if you're Matt Vertigo, right, and you realize that now both of these guys are kind of pitted against you on their one side, and then it's you on the other, do you jump in as quickly as he did?
I think you do. I think you have to use your power to divide and conquer. I mean, you look at who's on the outside. He's got. I mean, obviously he's kind of showing off to the crowd right now.
Unimpressed.
But he's isolated Underwood, and now he can really rain some pain down.
I agree. When any one man is getting too much of an offense going, you need to slow him down.
And it doesn't matter either way. You're saying so.
Either way.
Oh wow. Because I'm just saying, from my perspective of what I'm watching here, like it seems like the most success that either Underwood or Smith is having is when they work together to try to knock Vertigo down and out of the match.
Right.
So if I'm Underwood, I don't attack Smith until I know Vertigo's not coming back.
Absolutely.
And if I'm Smith, I'm doing the same thing. And Vertigo, he's doing his best, and obviously it's working here.
But I mean, look, the problem with that sometimes is, the problem that comes with any professional athletic endeavor is egos and different personalities. So you're not going to always have guys that are going to work in simpatico, just 100% of the time, especially if the adrenaline's running and someone thinks that they have an opportunity to take a win.
Yeah, these guys are like human video games. You need to keep that momentum bar down so they don't charge their finisher. That's the way I like to look at it.
I like that.
Yeah, and Vertigo seems like he's having a fun time doing it. I mean, you couldn't have said the word ego at a more opportune time than when the shot was just on Matt Vertigo by himself. So,
right,
and that's what we're seeing from him. Not only a very tall human frame, but also a large ego as well.
Yes.
And the tallest of all of our referees, SP Anderson, still dwarfed in comparison to the size of Matt Vertigo.
That's a referee I have stood next to. He is not a small man.
Nope. And props to him to not backing down either.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about some of these themes before, but the confidence that it takes to be set by the rules, knowing that your physical danger that you're in with some of these guys.
Right.
And still remain impartial.
Yep. And here comes Underwood finally back in. Oh,
still not 100%.
And Vertigo
He's
throws
got to be
Smith
careful
to the side. A little bait and switch there. Oh. Ooh.
Code breaker.
With the kip
Nipping up, and here we go. It seems like now that you see, and that's what we're talking about.
You were talking
a very
about.
Impressive move, right? Julie Underwood does a great move, but attacking the guy that's helping you is only going to put you in a situation where now you're completely by yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, wrong place, wrong time.
It's exactly what you were describing.
Well, with Vertigo down, it seems like now we're going to take the opportunity to see what Underwood and Smith are going to do against each other.
Like a lawn dart.
Ooh, rocketed him right into the corner.
He took that right on the bridge of the nose. His nose might be
Pop
broken.
up power bomb. He might have an opportunity to steal this one. Oh. Like even the kickouts, yeah, even the kickouts that Shaun Smith does are athletic.
Right. Yeah. It's almost like he can't help it. It's just innate in his nature.
Yeah. Naturally smooth, Shaun Smith.
That stance, it's reminiscent of Mike Bailey. Is it just me?
Yeah, well, you're going to see traces of him, in everything that Junie Underwood does.
Right. Oh, spear.
Spear into a Samoan. Right, and it looks like it even
might have given himself a stinger there.
Yeah, trying to get the feeling back in his fingers.
A lot of nerves in that upper neck area.
Well, you would know. You are a very astute member of the spinal community. Because before he was talking about the lumbar. A quick little rat-a-tat-tat. Smith looks like he's going to spin. Ooh, a springboard spear.
My goodness.
Slingshots himself in using that torque. Torque is something, we've talked about a lot.
Sheesh. Top rope. Let's see if this pays off.
It's always going to be interesting when Shaun Smith gets to the top rope.
Whoa,
the height.
He nearly jumped the length of the ring.
Yeah, and I think he knew that Vertigo was gone, and he was trying to get it out of the way.
Right.
And didn't realize that Underwood was there. Whoa!
Wow.
The height on that one as well.
Springboard forearm. Whew. Spinning forearm.
Yeah, spinning.
So,
yeah, spin.
Vertigo is going to have vertigo after the number of times he spun around in that offensive maneuver.
Yeah, I just love watching Junie Underwood feeding off of the crowd, right? He's inspired by their cheers and their want for him to do well.
Right.
And it's great to see him, really harness that emotion.
He's got the emotion and the tenacity of country legend Carrie Underwood. No relation, I don't believe.
My silence is just the baffled mind of.
Listen, Carrie Underwood is a legend in her field.
Never
sir.
heard. Back-to-back chops here now. Forearms from Vertigo.
Stiff forearms.
Yep, and a little head nod. It looks like they're going to now work together. Yep, and that's what it is.
Crowd counting long.
Oh.
Sharukin.
Oh, and Smith takes this opportunity to try to get Underwood. I think
that's
it's
a mistake.
Quick. Yeah, it's too quick.
They did not do enough to completely put Matt Vertigo away.
Maybe that did.
Right to the outside. Again, no padding out there.
But it takes so much energy for either Smith or Underwood to kind of do that on their own without the help of the other one.
Oh. Well, I mean, that's why I think
Smith to the outside with a
my goodness.
Lands on his feet and almost into the lap of that gentleman sitting in the front row.
He looked pretty stunned by what was coming right at him.
And now back to Underwood and Smith spinning DDT him. But
I think it would really be advantageous of both of them to at least try and keep Matt Vertigo out of the ring as long as possible.
Keep one eye on him.
Yeah, keep one eye on him, kick him out. And you know why? Because then if he has to climb back into the ring, he has to expend that energy to get back into the ring.
A Phoenix Splash.
Unbelievable.
A Phoenix Splash, and that's got to be it. Oh, and Vertigo comes in to make the save.
Which is why they should have kept that one eye on him.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand your point, but also, you're trying to finish the match and get it done.
If he could have gotten it done right there and then, it makes it a moot point. I see what you're saying.
Now Vertigo back in control, looking for a
chokeslam.
Yeah, maybe he does a sit-out version of a chokeslam to try to end the match against his opponents.
Double version.
Maybe trying to get both of them up. Ooh, without the sit, just with authority.
My goodness.
And Vertigo feeling himself now. And this is the if you're in this match and you're not Matt Vertigo, this is the exact opposite of what you want to happen.
Just looking at this man, I can't imagine the younger, skinnier version that you guys were describing knowing all those years ago. This is a beast.
And Underwood breaks up a sit-out spine buster attempt.
The one thing about Matt Vertigo in terms of his size is a lot of guys who are big rely on that size, and that's really all they bring to the table. But if you look at his build, he's got more of an athletic build. He's got more of a John Jones
build.
Yes,
so he's not like a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
Right, he doesn't have that bodybuilder build when it's just about aesthetics. It's more about, the efficiency of what you can use it for.
He has that weight, and he knows how to throw it around and where to be.
Ooh. Spinning heel kick right there.
Oh, you're not getting him up today. Not today.
And you can even see it in Vertigo's face. Like, what are you trying, kid? And now that's... this is it, right? That's what he wanted to do. He got him in it. Oh. But Shaun
and a
Smith back
kick. Unbelievable.
That's what they should have done to him earlier.
Yeah. This is impressive.
Very much so.
Vertigo's very impressive right now. But I think he knows it.
Oh.
Could this...
It almost cost him.
Another kick to the face. Underwood's got him
this time
up.
He gets him up.
Could this be it? Underwood's got him.
1, 2,
3. Got him.
And that's Underwood. Wow. Vertigo's cockiness
and look, Junie's shocked.
Completely cost him in the end.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're Vertigo now, you go back to the drawing board. You got to think, where did I go wrong? I was a grown man in there, pretty much dismantling 2 other grown men.
Yeah.
And I lost. How did I lose? And then that's when you got to correct your mistakes. And for Junie Underwood, you got to think of yourself as someone, who took the advantages that each part of the match gave him and came out on top. And that's a huge win.
Underwood's doing the right thing. He's playing and hanging out with the crowd after he's won the match.
That's actually a great point because for all of Vertigo's taunting and this, that, and the third to the crowd, didn't really work out for him that well. And hey, Underwood's doing it at the right. There's a time and a place.
Yeah, and you're giving them something to cheer about.
There you go.
To go home with. Not just a passing moment in the match that they're cheering for. It's a night that now we can celebrate them doing a victory.
Yeah.
And Shaun Smith, a great performance from Shaun Smith.
He didn't lose.
I mean, the goal of the match is to win, and he did not win.
This is true. 2 things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, I guess he didn't get pinned.
He did not get pinned. All right, so this is the main event.
Main event time. So if you're not familiar with the legacy of Jersey All Pro Wrestling and Jay Lethal, this is the song that he came out to during his run in Jersey All Pro Wrestling, which is why it's everything tonight has been paying part of homage to Jersey All Pro Wrestling, to just in general pro wrestling in this area for a very long time.
Yes.
Jay Lethal won a Tough Enough style television show that Jersey All Pro Wrestling produced in I believe the late part of 1999, early 2000, which earned him the ability to train for free at the Jersey All Pro Wrestling School.
God, wow.
Under Homicide, under Danny Moff,
Yes.
Monsta Mack,
Right.
all these guys. And for Jay Lethal, he hasn't wrestled in an independent wrestling match in New Jersey in over 13 years.
Which is incredible, because I think when you think of just historically the New Jersey independent scene, Jay Lethal is synonymous with that. No discussion, no debate.
Yeah, he was part of the building process of it. In the early 2000s, where wrestling in this area was at its height.
Yeah.
And Ring of Honor was running in Elizabeth, and Jay Lethal was a part of those shows. When Jersey All Pro Wrestling is running in Rahway, Jay Lethal is a part of those shows. Former Ring of Honor world champion. We can go on for hours.
His accolades extend.
And I think that would do nothing but inspire this man more. The top guy, Griffin McCoy, who has kind of built a name for himself in the last couple of months and years, trying to show people that he is a top guy.
Right.
He came from a group, struggled to really break himself away from that mold of just being another guy in Young, Dumb, and Broke, behind the likes of Jordan Oliver and Pat Dynamite. Griffin kind of even stumbled into this opportunity. The original match was supposed to be Jordan Oliver versus Jay Lethal, and Jordan Oliver tore his ACL.
Oh, wow.
Which puts him on the shelf, and now
Griffin has a chance to step up. But what I think is also interesting is you were talking about Lethal's 13-year absence, and I think Griffin might be able to, or may want to, show Lethal like, hey, I've been here. Yeah. I've been here.
While you've been big time in it.
Right.
I've been building.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that's what's awesome about this interesting dynamic. And even when guys like me and Jay were younger, we saw the same thing happening.
Right.
Where me or Jay were the young guy trying to make a name for ourselves, and we were in the ring against established guys.
Right.
Jay built his legacy in Jersey All Pro Wrestling, wrestling guys like Danny Moff, who had been around for 20 years at that point.
Yeah.
Rhino came in,
Yeah.
Charlie Haas, who built his name in Jersey All Pro Wrestling, and then went on and became a WWE legend.
Charlie Haas went fellow Seton Hall University alum like myself.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's what I mean, is that it's always about the difference in time, and this is just, it's interesting for guys like us to sit back and watch a man like Lethal, who was in Griffin's position, not that long ago, and now he has the ability to be the elder in this match.
Right, the elder statesman.
Yeah, and what a treat it is for the fans of this area who obviously love wrestling, who haven't been able to see Jay Lethal in this capacity in so long. I mean, for me, I'm just excited to have him be a part of this.
Yes.
Griffin started growing that mustache when the last time Jay Lethal wrestled in Sayreville.
I swear on everything in me, the next thing I was going to mention was that glorious, glorious stash. That was the next thing out of my mouth. So I'm so glad you said that.
It's top guy time. Top guys have mustaches. So it's interesting to see the strategy of both of these guys, what they choose to do. Jay has nothing to prove.
Not at all.
But is, such a believer in legacy, he wouldn't want himself to look any different or any less just because
he approaches the process. The same way he would approach anyone else.
Yeah, it's competition, and it's got him. It's what's got him this far, is just thriving on competition.
They didn't take too long to feel each other out. They're already locking up, engaging, trying to get some wrist control.
And I've seen enough Jay Lethal matches to know that he likes to try to figure out his opponent early on, feel out the process and kind of gauge the strength and the mobility and like the strategy.
He's trained with Ric Flair.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing a lot of talking to just say the same thing that you just said. You did it a lot easier.
There's not probably a single guy tonight that has even come close to getting in the ring with Ric Flair, and Jay Lethal does it like it's his Wednesday night.
Yeah.
But just you were talking, Arcadia, you were talking about the feeling out process, and initially I said there wasn't much of a feeling out process. I think what I more so wanted to say was that Lethal's feeling out process is that kind of methodical, getting wrist control, seeing where you're at, seeing where your body is going to be positioned, rather than a strut around the ring, if that makes sense. I didn't have my stopwatch out, but I don't think that there was more than 3 seconds until they physically touched each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until Lethal had a hand, and we talk about Ric Flair, hold
and
on.
strutting around the ring.
Yes.
And the crowd loves it, eating it up, and Griffin is not at all. It's good to look at the smile. He's having a blast. He tells him to wait.
See, Griffin's like, hurry it up.
Oh, I love it. Oh, and Griffin tries to take advantage. Jay saw it coming, flips him around, and now Lethal in control, sending McCoy off, reversed into a hip toss attempt. Hip toss, float over, drop kick. Classic
Textbook.
Jay Lethal. Whew. And now he's getting the crowd into it.
He makes me want to woo when he does that stuff.
I know. And there was something I mentioned before, and I know some people aren't going to watch the entire show, so it's worth it to bring it back up.
Of course.
Is when you're young and inexperienced, you don't know what you don't know.
Sure.
And that is only evident when you're in the ring with someone who does know. Yeah. And this is going to be what Griffin McCoy finds out. The difference between thinking you know
and knowing you
know.
Yeah.
Paul, you said it before, but he's been in the ring with Ric Flair. There hasn't been a person that Jay Lethal hasn't been in the ring with at this point. So when it comes to knowing, I don't think there's a better example of someone who just knows like Jay Lethal.
Even if you talk about individual cards that Lethal's been on with just complete legends, I've personally watched him. There was a Ring of Honor show in 2015. You talk about the Young Bucks on that show, all of the Undisputed Era, Okada. The list goes on and on of people that he's worked with, fought, shared a locker room with. There's literally nothing he hasn't done.
He main evented Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
This guy has done it all.
He worked a show in for JPW with the hyena. I saw it.
I'm glad that you brought that up. What was that, 2002?
Yeah, he never forgot about it. He talks about it all the time.
Well, Hyena's a legend. So,
to some people.
To me. He's a legend.
And we do some... Griffin McCoy doing his best to try to...
match that athleticism.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think he's doing a great job. Wow.
We talked about this earlier, too, is that, all the fun athletic things you do, you can put him to a stop with a kick to the face.
Right.
Oh, and a fake dive, and look.
Turnabout is fair play.
And his own strut. I mean, a little bit more robotic.
Yeah, I was just saying, very robotic.
Maybe hasn't practiced his strut in a while.
Tome arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Yeah, I think he can practice that.
A little bit. Loosen his back up a little bit.
Get
Bend those
canceled
knees.
walking like that.
He needs someone to show him how to loosen up his hips a little bit. But either way, I think the point was made.
The point was in fact made.
Yeah, and Jay didn't seem to be too happy about it.
Offering him a spot back in the ring. No, but Jay's going to take his time.
I love that kind of mind game stuff. This chess match between Griffin and Jay. It's just, this is a master class.
Yeah.
Oh, and Jay's going to hold on. Right, and that ringing in the ear that you feel when someone's grinding their forearm into it.
Just grinding it right across that mustache,
The knuckles across the mustache, yes. And Jay's going to spring up.
Duck under.
Oh, my gosh.
Nice leg lariat there.
Right in the mustache.
Using the leg.
No, but in all seriousness, I mean, my goodness, that impact, Jay's a legend.
Yeah, and you can see in matches like this, you know why.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There are people who are legendary in name, but you can never really understand why they're legendary in name. And then there's people that, who have been doing it for 20 years that continue to do it at such a high level, and that's Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
Just constant on him. Constant wrestling, constant pounding. I mean that without the pun. It's just constant.
Constant is the
Constant.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know if maybe Jay is even surprised at how back and forth this match has been so far. I know that they're both professionals, obviously, and they both have experience in the ring. But when you talk about guys like who have been in the ring with the people that we've talked about already, how surprised do you get when someone isn't as able to manipulate physically as maybe you think they could be?
Well, I think in this business, that's going to be the difference between, the real winners and the quitters that just kind of don't have that inner drive to push themselves to another level. I think that's what he's doing right now. He's pushing himself to a level where he can stand toe-to-toe with a Jay Lethal and look just as crisp, just as fast, just as athletic. So, I feel like either you have that sometimes or you don't. I think he has that.
And Jay's definitely not the type of guy to take it easy.
No, of course not.
So if you're earning, your strikes here, you're earning them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's be honest, Jay's still going to learn something from this match as well.
Yeah.
You learn something from the new guys, the hungry guys that come in, right? So
he's an eternal student. I mean, you look at the preparation that he helped Ric Flair with for his last match a while ago, and a part of that, he said, I believe in an interview that he had learned things. So it's like, hey, he's under the learning tree still, even as the veteran that he is.
Yeah, if you're looking for some sort of learning experience, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
And speaking of Ric Flair, Lethal went for the figure four there, reversed, and then caught the reversal, went back at it, and now we're at a point where Griffin McCoy has Jay Lethal perched in a very
precarious position.
Yes. Ooh, and a big Yakuza kick sends Jay Lethal to the floor. Ooh. And now it seems like Griffin McCoy is in the position that he's wanted to be in since the beginning of this match.
Whoa! Wow. We're sorry for that language.
The echo.
Whoa.
The echo of Griffin McCoy screaming around the
audio's been turned up in this section of the arena.
It's always hard when the audio goes up for the expletives.
So if you're Griffin McCoy, what's more important to you? A victory over Jay Lethal or having a moment like this in the ring where you see him writhing on the ground in agony?
I think
and you're standing over him.
I mean,
like just the power moment that you know what I mean? Like that's a powerful moment to feel.
I still think he needs to go for the win here.
Yeah, of course. I'm not saying that the victory is not important. But I'm saying if you...
Is the moment as important?
Yeah. Is that moment of getting...
You need the victory because that moment then just turns into a nightmare.
Yeah, I understand your point, and I see that. But what I'm saying is, like, we've talked about also throughout the entire broadcast here tonight about, catching someone off guard and maybe stealing a 3-count victory.
Right.
There is possibilities that someone who is not physically as good as me can beat me at any moment.
Right.
Just because that's the way wrestling is.
Of course.
But to have a moment in the ring in front of a crowd who is cheering for arguably one of the greatest wrestlers of all time.
Right.
And you're in control of him? Like that's something that
it is pretty impressive. It is pretty impressive.
That's something that I would, I'd write home to Mom about. And look at him.
Those are some great chops.
Oh yeah. Thuds.
But just listen, if he can solidify a win here tonight, it will be the difference between...
He's making Jay mad now.
It'll be the difference between the Golden State Warriors having the all-time season wins record and losing the championship, and the Bulls being in second place but winning the championship.
Yeah, I understand.
So, listen, I'm glad he's got this moment, and he's actually had more moments even before that moment, but you got to push through. You got to get this win, and I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for the mustache.
Ooh, wow. The underdog guy or just...
Well, as a fellow mustachioed man, when I see someone, growing a little bit of a soup strainer there, I'm with it,
I like soup strainer. Yeah.
The flavor catcher,
Yeah, so these are... Griffin's now getting more of these moments we've talked about, right? He's got control.
I mean, look at this right now. if this isn't a moment, I don't know what is. How many people can say that they've had Jay Lethal in this type of precarious position?
Yeah.
It didn't last very long, though.
Well, I mean, and that's what he's got to do, right? Griffin's got to learn to stay on top of people.
Yeah.
And try to finish them. Because at this point, allowing Jay. I mean, every match is going to go back and forth. No one's going to have control for 100% of the time. But take your opportunities to. Ooh, nice.
Pump handle gut
that was a nice move.
It was incredible. Spin into a neck breaker, right? And this is that strategy we've talked about in dismantling.
Yes.
Right. He is attacking every part of that body, right? Whether it's the neck or the back or the ribs or the face or the arms, he's attacked every part of it, right?
Yeah.
And now back to the low back
systematically.
Yeah, and a nice little European uppercut spinning there to the back. And it seems like it's working. Jay is definitely looking like he has been in better situations before.
Certainly. Just punishing him now.
Using his weight.
Yeah, and we talked about Matt Vertigo before, gaining his weight. The same thing with Griffin McCoy was probably about 40 to 50 pounds lighter when I first met him.
Sure.
As an 18-year-old. And now, definitely getting stockier and putting the weight on and understanding how much, that can help you in situations like this where when you want to call yourself the top guy.
Yeah.
You can definitely do it a lot better when you have the physical mass to do it.
Yeah.
When you're the top guy, you get the top paycheck, you're getting those top stakes.
And that's what he wants.
And like I said before, a little earlier, that, sometimes when people see these athletes in the ring, they get a distorted sense of how big these guys are because they're kind of compared to one another. I mean, you look at Jay Lethal. I mean, that's that's a beefy boy, right? So, you might realize like, okay, this guy's a little bigger than I'm realizing, and he's moving around with that weight like somebody who's still that guy from 40 pounds ago when you first met him when he was 18.
That pump handle, attempt leads to now some sort of pinning combination, and it's honestly now going to be about who's got more pin attempts in their repertoire here, because it looks like now is the fourth. Oh, and the lethal combination.
Lethal combination. That's what I meant to say.
We may see the injection soon. Because we know that Lethal likes to follow up. He's
and a big thing about Lethal is that, and I know this is going to be like one of those obvious statements that you make, but he likes to hit it in situations that you don't expect it or you don't see it coming. That springboard is a huge buildup. So if you're getting yourself ready for it, and your opponent knows that you're getting yourself ready, it's easy to. I mean, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's easier to avoid.
Right.
In situations like that. Going
for macho elbow?
Yeah, he's going up for that macho elbow.
Taking quite a bit of time to get up there, though.
Once he gets it going, it snaps like a Slim Jim, so he can take a little time.
Off the top. McCoy looking to reverse it. From the elbow to the rolled up back. Has he got him?
I don't think his shoulders were down.
Yeah. It was close.
How you saw the shoulders on that angle.
And McCoy seemed to get that, that second burst of energy here. Whoa.
Ow.
But, he needs to show that aggression. I like this.
Yeah,
This is what he needs to do.
Yeah, no, this isn't a chess match.
Right.
This isn't just about, strategy. It's also about, physical violence at points. Now perched on the top rope, we got McCoy looking for what looks to be a superplex. I see the way Jay's legs are kind of locked there.
He's got it grapevined, and yep.
And that's that mental chess match of trying to make sure that you are ahead of your opponent, knowing what they're going to be going for.
Just beating him down now.
Oh, the chop sends McCoy back down.
Is he going to go for the elbow again?
Yeah, let's do it. Halfway up there, might as well.
Here we go. Pointing to the ceiling.
Boom.
And dropping the elbow.
Textbook.
Could this be it?
A lot of guts to kick out of that.
A 2 count from referee Ryan T.
He really had to dig deep to kick out of that.
And Jay doesn't get frustrated easy, but you can see the frustration a little bit on his face.
Well, I mean, Lethal has won titles with that elbow drop.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you when you're dropping the heavy artillery like that and it doesn't really connect, it's tough.
He's looking for the injection here. Oh, pulled back. Now he's got him set up. Oh, he was reaching for it, didn't get it. But he saw it coming.
Great counter.
Nice roll through. A little corner send. Lethal goes into the corner. Oh, a big.
That was a hell of a kick.
Going for it again. Oh!
A drop kick in the corner. Griffin's feeling himself now. If he could keep putting this stuff together, it might end up in top guy time.
Let's see. Are we going to see a splash here? Are we going to see...
Ooh, a big
nice
splash.
Big splash.
Here we go. No, a big... Wow, that was way closer than I expected it to be.
His hand was closer together than his nose and his upper lip.
Because he's got a mustache.
Yes.
He's going to have to believe in the stash right now.
That's where his power comes from?
That's where all of his energy is going to come from.
Boy.
If I were him, I'd rub it a little bit, and I'd put the sweat of it in my mouth, is what I would do, to drink the essence of the stash.
The Gatorade.
It's Stasherade. It's...
And this still back and forth testing, McCoy trying to prove himself. Maybe he didn't think that one all the way through.
But I'll tell you, talking about proving himself, you were talking about moments, and I think honestly, win, lose or draw, he's proven himself with quite a few moments tonight. So, he might still be trying to prove himself, but in my eyes, I think he already has.
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt that anyone watching this match understands that Griffin McCoy belongs at this level.
Yes.
But it's just a matter of now closing it out and getting that victory, making it even sweeter. Ooh.
He's already in my stash Hall of Fame. I think it's him, Eddie Guerrero. Ooh.
Slap, goes for a spinning back fist, misses, super kick. Ooh, and then he gets it. Let's see what McCoy going for. Off the ropes. Goes for the kick. Wow, what a
follow through
into the figure four.
Unbelievable.
What a series of events there. And I don't think McCoy knew what was coming for him.
But does he know where he is in the ring?
No, he's crawling the wrong way.
He put himself in the middle of the ring. Maybe he's trying to go for one of those side ropes.
Or maybe he's trying to change the pressure.
Yeah.
If he can turn his body and turn that, reverse that pressure of the figure four.
If he can flip his hips. Jay there, putting his foot there trying to bring the momentum back up, but Griffin gets the ropes. And I think that's in a 16 by 16 ring.
Sure, yeah.
Is a shorter distance than a normal 18 or 20 by 20 that you'd see at the upper level.
Yes. Oh, what's he doing with this? Oh, see now.
Has he got some? Oh, he's got his watch.
See now, I wouldn't like him to take this shortcut.
Like Casio.
I think I've already said I feel like he's already done so much to prove himself. I don't know why he would cheapen it here with this.
It's not about, for some guys, how you get it done, as much as it is about getting it done.
Yeah.
And that's what it seems like Griffin McCoy is poised to do here. If he's allowed to use that weapon. Oh! And Jay saw it coming. He's got it. He's holding it. And it looks like Ryan's got a hold of it. Yep, Ryan pulls it away. Jay's going to roll him up. Oh. No. What a series of pins here. Jay's trying to get up. Griffin trying to... This is a back and forth pin. Oh. Usually you find an end right here with one of those. Goes for the line. Another roll up here. 1, 2. Big kick out by Jay. Hands on him. Backwards roll. 1, 2.
Oh. And the lethal injection. My goodness. That has got to be all she wrote. Yes, sir.
Boy.
It's all fun and games till someone loses an eye.
And that's it. Whew. What a victory here for Jay Lethal. First of all, what a performance by Griffin McCoy.
Absolutely.
But second, I mean, this is when you talk about tiers of wrestling, and this is what proves or shows you that a guy like Jay Lethal is at that top tier.
Absolutely. But I got to say, when we were talking about Jay Lethal potentially hitting the lethal injection a little earlier in the match. You mentioned that he tries to get those moments where the opponent isn't expecting it, where it kind of comes a little out of nowhere.
Yep.
And I really think that Griffin did himself a disservice by going for that watch in the corner. I think that momentary distraction of the referee taking away the watch, it really gave Jay that moment to surprise him with his special move, his finishing move.
Yeah, and he knew he was at a point where he was desperate and going to try anything. So,
And sometimes that desperation is what puts you in a position to be taken advantage of.
Yep.
And I as someone who's watched Jay for a very long time, I'm just happy to watch him perform at the level that he's still performing at. In a place where he made a name for himself. Like he was built in this area specifically, and to watch him come back here,
Yep.
After traveling the world, tours all over the place, it's just great to see. And now look, a show of respect from Jay Lethal. Handing
giving
his
the watch?
Yeah, I mean, symbolically, we
Sure.
could say that maybe Jay understands that it is top guy time.
I think he's telling him it's not his time. That's what he's saying right there.
Maybe he's just trying to give him his watch back.
Hey, this doesn't belong to me.
Yeah, this is your watch, buddy. Wow, smooth. And Jay gets a handshake out of the deal. Nothing makes someone angrier than forcing them to shake hands with you when you're one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Oh, my God.
Class act, celebrating with some of the
Yeah,
fans.
I love it. Yep. Who's that guy?
Big fans of Jay Lethal. Always has time for the kids.
I love it. Well, I mean, what can we say? To the people who are watching, thank you so much for, taking part in Constant Wrestling. And that is our pilot episode.
Take care.
Have fun.
Have fun doing what?